The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stunner! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Wag Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. This program starts now.
Football
is wonderful, and today we're going to be giving out some awards. Yes, it is award season here at the program, and there'll be two different styles of awards given out. First, there'll be the Trenchies, the award for the big guys who have dominated all season. We'll have the top 5 offensive lines from the season, and then we'll have the best tackle, best guard, and best center in the eyes of a man who played in the NFL for 12 NFL seasons. He was a coach. He's a Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, Penn State man, A.Q. Shipley.
So good to be back.
I know, yeah, we've missed you the last couple weeks. Being serious when I say that, normally we would be talking shit to somebody whenever we say, wow, it's been a real shame not seeing you the last 2 weeks. It has been. We have missed your presence, but this is a big one for you. You're giving out an award. I know you've received awards in the past, the Remington and many others, Super Bowl trophy, but the Trenchies are a big deal. You took your time. You looked into this. We want to reward the fatzos that are doing the best. Ain't that accurate?
The offensive line is the workhorse of the entire team, and I can't wait to show the best tackle, best guard, best center.
I think this year it has become more of a conversation about the trenches being the determiner on who wins and who loses. And if you were to watch the Inside the Trenches segment each week and the top 5 performing offensive lines, I think you'd be able to tell who was going to be in the playoffs. The game is won in the trenches, and we'll be giving out Trenchies today. And I know offensive linemen don't love that necessarily.
No, they don't want that. They do not want. They want to live in anonymity. Is that the word? Is that the
no,
word?
anonymity.
Wow.
Yeah,
Anonymity.
certainly you were close there. Sounded like me trying to pronounce some of the Samoan names on Monday night there.
That's right.
That's what that sounded like. But anonymity is certainly what offensive linemen are looking for. But showing them some love, giving them some love is not a bad thing, especially in 2025. And then we have the All-Everything DB team being presented by the one, the only, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, it's a big deal. We got 2 safeties, 1 nickel, 2 corners that are going to be on the All-Everything DB team. How'd you go about putting this team together?
I've been watching tape all year, obviously grinding the tape. We've been doing everything DB every week, and DB is it's those positions where it's hard to you can't just look up stats and say, oh, this guy got 120 tackles or 6 picks or whatever and say, hey, that's the best guy at the position. So just like the O-line, you can't just look up, stats and pick out guys. So, it's always guys that's worthy right at that cutoff line. It's tough, but had to get.
You think there's going to be some drama? There's only a first team All-Everything DB team.
No second team.
There's not a second team. There's not a third team. There's only 5 winners on the All-Everything DB team. And there's a lot of guys out there that had great season. This was D-Butch idea.
Yeah, I hope
this was D-Butch idea. Only 5. Only 5 can win the All-Everything DB team.
No participation trophies. It's not like Dano was talking yesterday. How about everybody just gets a trophy? No, it's tough to make it. But these 5 guys, I think we'll all agree on at least 4 of these 5.
Son of a bitch.
Can't wait to roll those out. I will have an early indicator. I don't think you're going to be thrilled with the people that were decided. That's the Talks Table at Boston Connor at Ty Schmidt. Con man, sweet beanie pal.
Hell yeah.
Tassel cap.
Yeah, it's Moss Cancer. Came in yesterday. Awesome little beanie here. Also great merch. Got the hood and everything. Randy Moss, one of the greatest New England Patriots of all time. I think we all kind of realized that when Tom Brady came back, got his number retired, got that massive standing O from all New England, was crying on the stage. Definitely teasing piece to him. Shout out Randy Moss.
Yeah, we love Randy Moss.
Love you, Randy.
Massive fan of Randy Moss. All of us, obviously. I don't think I've ever got a chance to fully interact with him. Maybe down at LSU when his kid was playing and they were in the championship. I got a chance to dap him up and tell him how much, hey, everything you've done in sports world has inspired me so much. Massive fan. West Virginia dude, obviously, in high school. Him and white chocolate.
Yeah.
Just could you imagine showing up in West Virginia to a high school game and you're just like, you got to drive through the hills of West Virginia to get there. Hour and 45 minutes to get to their game. You come in, Jim is completely rocking, and who's warming up on the other side? White chocolate and Randy Moss. Okay, this is going to be a good night. Yeah, they're throwing it off the backboard to each other, and then Randy would obviously go on to crush at Marshall, go to the NFL, break all the records. You see that insane stat line from when he was at the Vikings: 3 catches, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's like that is what that dude was capable of doing every single game, no matter what level he was playing, no matter what sport he was playing. So what he's going through now, we assume he'll dominate, but you know that we're on your side, Randy. We're all on Team Moss, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's the best. I mean, actually, he was only in New England for, I think, 4 or 5 years, and he was one of those guys that you always look back to the dynasty and everything. You can throw Logan Mankins in there, too. Like, damn, really wish we won a Super Bowl so Randy Moss could have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard him during the roast of Tom Brady say, hey, how come we weren't cheating when I was here?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that all about? Well, they were cheating. Any team that had you, Randy, was cheating because there was no one else like you. I mean, you're talking about this before this was even started. Anytime you can call something a Moss and change the name and the vernacular of a sport forever, you're obviously a legend. We love Randy, and I assume he's going to beat the shit out of this and raise a lot of money and attention for it. So shout out to Randy. We can't wait to see you back on TV doing whatever the hell you want to do. I wonder if he's already back.
Oh, I'm sure he is. That's good therapy.
I assume he's just pulling them.
Oh, yeah. Ripping lips.
So many.
Yeah.
Hold him up. Hey, I'm going through it, but not as much as this fish.
That's right.
Dumbass. Got him. And Ty Schmidt over there at the Talks table. What are you doing, brother?
Well, you know, it's been a long morning, so I figured I'd just crack open an ice-cold Real American beer.
Wow. Okay.
Compliments of D-Bone, who, and obviously the Hulkster, but D-Bone said, you know what? These guys need to try it. So he drove, I think, like 5 hours round trip last night to Ohio to buy a Real American beer, and yeah, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be a real American to enjoy that. We're all real Americans here. So shout out D-Bone and shout out the Hulkster. This is ice cold, refreshing Pilsner. I mean, I might have found my new light beer choice.
That's because you're a real American, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Keep it going.
It's not a water.
I mean, it's only going to stay cold for so long. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
How was the reaction last night from friends and family about the press conference of the Hulkster yesterday?
Pretty good for the most part. You know, I think, obviously when something like that happens, you know, there's going to be certain people who are upset with it, certain people who, you know, don't agree with the Hulkster, certain people who are all on the Hulkster side. I'd say, all in all, it was a pretty good night.
You pissed off everybody.
Well,
there's people mad from all parties. That's how we knew we do it right.
Exactly.
That's how we knew we did it right in that entire thing. That situation was just ripe for the picking.
It was
for what took place there, and I'm happy you're enjoying a nice real American beer because the performance yesterday with the Hulkster was certainly worthy. I mean, don't make that thing disappear, pal. It's only 12:07. Got a few hours left.
I mean, every sip is more delicious than the previous one, so it's kind of hard not to just.
I am a real American. I mean, it was loud on Monday. Monday was electrifying. All right, let's talk some sports here. Let's talk some football. Mike McCarthy was requested to do an interview with the Chicago Bears, and the Dallas Cowboys said, nah, you can't. They denied the request from the Chicago Bears to interview the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, whose contract expires today. Now, until the 14th, there has been a negotiated into this particular contract, a negotiation window for the Dallas Cowboys to either extend or give a new contract to Mike McCarthy before he can talk to anybody else. And if you ever listen to Jerry, he's always like, hey, he did a contract. We did a contract. We negotiated a contract. So normally this particular window is before the contract expires. There's normally a negotiating window that's kind of put in place. For instance, all the contracts that we sign with anybody, there's like a period that happens before the contract extends that the company can extend your contract, get a new contract before anybody else can talk to you anywhere else. Do you like what we're doing? We like what you're doing. You could stay. Now, that window has been talked about. I think Stephen A. had that window that was talking about with ESPN. This has been a part of all businesses. The fact that it happens after his contract expires, very fascinating. That's a very interesting thing that I didn't know took place. I also didn't know it happened with coaches. But I think this is an indicator, especially with them turning down the Chicago Bears, that maybe they are going to keep old Big Mike McCarthy around. AQ Shipley Yinzer Mike McCarthy obviously has had a lot of wins with Dallas Cowboys this past season. Obviously, Dak gets hurt. Things start going a different way. They don't make the playoffs. They're on primetime every week. Jerry Jones got to answer questions with phones so close to his mouth after every single game. How do you feel about this situation? What do you think the message sends about Jerry Jones keeping this negotiating window exclusive like he has? And what do you think about them turning down the Bears? Does this mean Mike McCarthy is going to be wearing a star for at least 4 or 5 more years?
You never know with old Jerry down there, because listen, this is typical.
He's a thespian.
Yeah.
This is typical Jerry. This is typical Dallas. This is the way that they operate. I mean, they should have made a bunch of moves last offseason. They didn't. They keep Mike McCarthy. Obviously, things go south when Dak gets hurt. But listen, if you're going to rehire him, rehire the guy. Like, make a move. Make a move right now.
You got to remember, whenever Jason Garrett was up and everybody thought he was going to get fired, that lingered for a few weeks. And then messages started coming out from the team, through sources and yada, yada. Jason Garrett's viewed as like a son in his family. So Jerry's having a tough time making a decision on whether or not he wants to run it back with old Jason Garrett, old Clappy Smiley, or if he wants to get rid of him. Is it the same thing with Mike McCarthy? Jerry Jones has had so many real American beers alongside Mike McCarthy. They're in love with each other. What do you think it is?
It seems like it, and I feel like midpoint in the season, we all kind of saw like, oh yeah, Mike is going to be out of there. Is it going to be Bill? Is it going to be this guy? Is it going to be that guy? But I feel like, at least as a player, former player from the outside looking in, the boys rallied around Mike. Like, they still played for him. Guys came back from injury. Obviously, I think CD ended up missing the last game, but he was playing through his shoulder. Micah came back from his injury, and he played well. So, like, the boys as a unit, and then publicly they spoke out and said Dak came out, Micah, the pillars kind of in that locker room, and backed him. And I think Jerry was talking late in the season and said some things very glowingly about Mike. Now, we know that can be said on one day and then get fired on the following Monday. But I think he ends up sticking around because of how they finished, because of how the team, and like you mentioned, they won a bunch of games. And then what's the alternative? Who's out there? Who are you going to hire that's better than Mike McCarthy at this point in the game?
Pep Hamilton?
Definitely.
Well,
great candidate.
he might be spoken for.
What do you mean?
New England hired him.
What? New England hired him?
Oh, excuse me. I'm just saying there's a good chance they do hire him. We don't know. Everyone's, making shit about it, saying, hey, they bring in Byron Leftwich. They bring in Pep Hamilton. They're just checking boxes for the Rooney Rule. Do we know Pep Hamilton's not going to get hired tomorrow?
Well,
Yes.
I'm pretty certain Pep Hamilton's not going to get hired because of something that I saw. He did a top 5 under 25 quarterbacks, and there's a lot of great names on there. None of them are Drake May, but Drake May's backup, Joe Milton, who we saw
Boys player.
in Week 18 was an absolute dog. So I know Pep. We know Pep because he was with the Indianapolis Colts, obviously out of Stanford. He comes over to the Colts with Andrew Luck. I love Pep Hamilton. I enjoy Pep Hamilton. I think he was with the DC United.
DC Defenders.
Okay.
Good squad.
Great squad. Beer snakes.
Yeah,
Best
exactly.
offense in the league.
Beer
Exactly.
snakes over there. They used to fill that place up. I like Pep. Then them interviewing Byron Leftwich. Remember, he was hot to trot coming out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was going to be a head coach somewhere. Very quickly, that kind of cooled off. He's getting interviews up there with Robert Kraft. Now people are saying, oh, Kraft's making a mockery out of the Rooney Rule. Boston Connor, Patriots fan. How do you feel about all the names that they're interviewing? It feels like they're casting a much wider net than anybody would have thought.
Yeah, I love it. Offensive guys, dudes who could come in and work with Drake May. I mean, granted, or Joe Milton, if you're Pep Hamilton in this case. And maybe, Pep's list has changed after seeing what Drake May can do. But, I mean, I think this is just kind of part of what they have to do, and that's a great list. No Jaden Daniels or Bo Mix, but still a great list. But
Trevor Lawrence and Joe Milton above Drake May.
Yeah.
Before the season?
Someone photoshopped this thing. There's no way.
I believe it was before the season. And I
Did he
think
get a chance to see Drake May?
I don't think it was before. I think it was before the season, rather, just because the reactions in the room. It looks like the other two dudes do not agree per se. But when it comes to
the hands,
Ain't got nothing to do with this shit.
No, not me.
This is this guy. This guy was the head coach of DC
Defenders.
United, DC Defenders over there. This is on him. He's been around a long. What's your problem, AQ? What is your problem?
I think Pep commented on this after the game, and he was like, pumped. I got to see my guy Joe Milton.
Just like I said.
I'm pretty sure this was retweeted.
So obviously, getting an interview is a big deal for a head coaching job.
Yeah.
But it has been assumed for almost a couple weeks now that if Gerard Mayo gets fired, Mike Vrabel's going to be the head coach. Vrabel's getting a head coach interview on Thursday is what's being reported, I believe, by Rap Sheet reported that. So what are your expectations on how this whole thing goes?
My expectation is that Mike Vrabel announced as the head coach of the New England Patriots.
This guy didn't even give Pep and Byron left with a shot.
No, and
that's the part of the problem.
I did.
We know. I think we all know it's going to be Mike Vrabel, and unfortunately, this is the song and dance they have to do. This is a part of Rooney Rule. Now, the Rooney Rule, in theory, and shout out to the Rooney. Shout out, we got a bunch of Steelers fans. And shout out to Rooney. It was definitely needed to get black coaches more opportunities, more real opportunities, and get even to the interview process where you have a chance to get hired. So, in theory, or as Green would say, maybe in a vacuum, that was a good idea.
Okay.
But outside of it, the Patriots, they probably have their candidate they want. They know they have to hire, but they have to go through this process. And I'm sure this happens at other places as well. And maybe somebody does blow their socks off during the interview process. But like
maybe they do in a vacuum.
Alluded to it.
Like a vacuum.
And these are, good coaches. Like you mentioned, we spent time with Pep. Pep has been around for a long time. Byron Leftwich, I haven't spent time with him, in the building as a coach. I think AQ did, so I can't really speak on him, on Byron. But, it is kind of.
What else was the other? They did like a happy hour. Remember they were doing happy hours down at the owners' meeting?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they say a lot of these owners hire people that they know or people that are in the building know.
Yes.
And they maybe don't have friendships or relationships outside of their race, which was a real conversation that was taking place, which I think happens in the real world too. And nobody really wants to bring it up. Everybody wants to be unified, but not a lot of people have this to learn about everything. So I think that was happening with the NFL and ownership. So they're having like these happy hours and cocktail hours down at the meetings. They instituted the Rooney Rule. I think there was a real effort. But now whenever something like this happens and everybody knows.
Yeah, you're going to make a mockery of it. And that's just what it is. And that's the biggest part of it. People, and that, like you mentioned, it happens in business. It happens in any Fortune 500 companies. Like you tend to hire people you're more comfortable with in your circle. You'll have a beer with. I had a GM tell me years ago that that's basically what it comes down to. Who's the guy you'd rather have a beer with if all things are equal?
Well, a real American beer?
I haven't tried. I don't think I'll try. I don't think I'll try.
You won't?
I won't. I am still playing the game. I put the Hawks through about 7 tables last night. But yeah, it does come down to that.
Who you were playing as
me,
you?
Of course. I only play as me. You kidding me?
As you should.
Yeah, as I should. WWE 2K24, now 2K25 coming out.
Maybe.
With,
hopefully.
Hopefully. What are we talking about?
I don't know if that was ever official. There was just like a lot of alluding to.
On the cover.
But yeah.
January 27th.
Okay. But that's what it
Paul
comes
Heyman
down
said
to.
it 3 times. January the 27th. The 27th of January. And then closes the door, 2K25 up there, and everybody goes, whoa! So if our tribal chief is up there, I think that's going to be an exciting time. But this whole hiring process is getting interesting.
Yes.
Because we're talking about a lot of culture people getting in there. Pete Carroll is going to be interviewing for the Chicago Bears job. I love this, especially after Pete Carroll kind of got his ass kicked out of Seattle. Now, what is Seattle going to do? They fired their offense coordinator, Grubb, who was with Kalen DeBoer at the University of Washington. So let's assume Grubb goes to the University of Alabama with DeBoer. DeBoer's going to be pumped about that, I do believe, because they obviously had massive success together. The Seahawks are going to have to do what they're going to have to do to build this next era, this next culture. Who's their quarterback? But Pete Carroll's looking for his next chapter as well. Chicago Bears could be a great place for him. I mean, if you think about what Pete Carroll is now, he is 74.
2 or 3, yeah.
Something like that.
He's up there.
He's up there.
In his 70s.
He is old. But everybody says about him, no, he's like a 50-year-old, 40-year-old. He's 73 years old, chewing the gum, high energy, and the building is high energy. That feels like something that could be good for the Chicago Bears team. Feels like something that Caleb Williams would embrace and enjoy. And it feels like that culture could become one that believes in winning. Because every day is about competing. Every day is about having fun. If we know anything about Pete Carroll, you get to work here. You don't have to work here. So that vibe can certainly bring success, and it has had success before. They need a fucking offensive line, though, right? Isn't that kind of what everybody's talking about with them, AQs?
They need everything. It starts with the offensive line, but they need a lot more than just the offensive line. Pete Carroll would be a great starting point. He brings culture. He brings competitive nature. He brings energy. He brings excitement. He brings fun. A lot of things that they probably didn't experience this year, right? But they do need to get better along the offensive line.
I have a question for you. Can any offensive line become a good offensive line?
You need to play well together. I've been on teams
like,
where,
for instance.
Yeah.
So everybody said that everybody knew the offensive line was going to be a problem going into this year. You know, we had weapons. We bring in Keenan Allen. We got to do more. We got everybody that we need there. But everybody said the offensive line, can the offensive line. And then when it plays bad, everybody's like, this guy plays bad. Now, there's a lot of plays where Caleb Williams potentially made the offensive line look bad. But isn't it true just from somebody that has watched the ball, you don't know if an offensive line is going to be great or not, right? Any
You have no
offensive
clue.
line can be great.
Yeah, any offensive
as long
line
as
can
they
be
have
great.
size and ability.
Size and ability, you got to be able to play well with each other and scheme and fit. I talk about this all the time, right? Like scheme and fit is everything. So you can take 5 unbelievable offensive linemen, put them in a shitty scheme or a scheme that doesn't necessarily fit those 5 guys or even 3 of those 5 guys, and you're going to have bad offensive line play. But if you take 5 guys who maybe aren't the most talented guys, they like to have beers with each other. They like to go to dinner with
smoke weed together.
Do all the
What?
things with each other, and they play better together than they are as individuals. Now you got a group, and as long as they're in the right scheme and the right fit.
There are some O-linemen that have some degenerateness in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some.
Who are you looking at?
Well, he said shoot dice with, and it's like, I was thinking to myself, offensive lineman, and then I immediately went to a dice circuit. I was like, oh yeah, the Fatsos get in there. They will.
I've been in there.
Yeah, that's the type of. By the way, that's the offensive lineman that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I mean that is certainly the type of group that you want. So can they take that same group from this past year with a new system, maybe new offensive line coach, and become a good group, or is it you have to plug and place type situation?
Perfect example is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the last 7 years, based off scheme and fit. 5, literally the same 5 offensive linemen, bottom 3 rushing team last year, top 5 rushing team this year. Same exact group.
How come?
Because you can take Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, goes down to Tampa, comes from the McVay world. Boom, eye candy, motion across, motion this guy into the backfield, pull guards this way, this guy going that way. You got all this stuff to make it easier on the guys up front, and it makes them play better as a unit.
Well, they said Waldron's offense was one that was very dynamic.
It was
just
almost
vanilla.
too dynamic.
Yeah, guys couldn't understand, so they just ran 4 routes.
Exotics on offense. It was too much.
Yeah, we're putting our hand in the dirt, and we're either run blocking right in front of us or we're pass setting and getting beat. That's all we're going to do.
That's it.
I love those coaches that say it ain't hard. Our guys got to beat their guys. And then there's other coaches that are like, well, you can help. You could certainly
I've
help.
been in that world where it's like, hey, listen, we're just going to go out there. We're going to play these guys. We're not going to do anything to help you guys. You're just going to block these 5 guys. If Aaron Donald across from you, go in.
He puts on his pants just like you do.
That's right.
3 sacks into the second quarter. It's like, God, can we get some help? We get some help here.
So new coaching can help that offensive line up there in Chicago.
It can help.
They're not as far away as it maybe appeared in a lot of cases. And also Caleb can help out that offensive line, which I assume he will learn about this particular offseason.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He can help a lot. And literally, he can get the ball out quicker. He can, if he feels a little bit of pressure, instead of leaking this way, and now you just fell into a sack, now you just step up a little bit. Now you just saved everybody. You helped everybody.
They ran some clips about Bo Nix. I feel like that is a big rookie move because in college, you can get outside the pocket and then you can cook. Now, granted, we're still seeing it with people. I mean, Lamar Jackson this year outside the pocket has had like 4 or 5 plays that are like, that looks like a varsity player playing against JV people. And they weren't JV people. What he did to Daniil Hunter, where he was just like up and out on the sideline. And it was like Daniil Hunter's an all-pro, Lamar Jackson at a different level. But Lamar Jackson, and I assume he would say he had developed this too, the first reaction is, I'm a better athlete than everybody. I can get out of here. But what NFL guys do that are great is they actually step up into the traffic almost, let that play develop a little bit more, and then get it the hell out. You might take a shot, though, at the end of that thing. But that's like the difference, I think, between like novice, new NFL quarterback and experienced veteran quarterback. And they're all going to have to go through it. And Caleb is certainly one of the guys that's going to have to do that.
Yeah, there's no
and
question.
Pete will help with that. I think Pete Carroll will help with that.
Yeah, I mean, Pete's a veteran coach. He dealt with Russell. I'm sure Russell, if you go back to Russell's rookie year, I bet he did the same thing. I bet he was out here. And then as he got older, it was like, okay, let's get here, and then let's step back up, let our tackles ride the guy by and make a play.
Love when they ride a guy.
Yeah. Need to sometimes.
Ride a guy by.
How about your Trenchy award-winning tackle? Did he ride a lot of guys by?
He rode a lot of guys by.
Just riding guys.
Just riding guys.
Jeez. Chewing them out.
Speaking of chewing them out, Mark Davis walked into Antonio Pierce's office yesterday and said, well, you're fired. So that's 2 former players that are coaching for teams that have one-and-done type situation. The Las Vegas Raiders, Tom Brady is going to be a massive piece of the collaborative effort to find the new head coach. I'm excited to see what he brings, what questions he asks versus Tom Telesco. I saw somebody tweet me and say, Tom Telesco is trying to bring in Brandon Staley. I don't think that is the case.
I highly doubt it.
I do not. I saw somebody say the writing's on the wall. He's going to try to bring Brandon Staley back in just like they did the Chargers. I don't think Tom Telesco is going to do that. I don't think that is going to be the direction in which he's going to try to go. But if Tom Brady is a part of this, Mark Davis is part of this, how much does Tom Telesco actually say in who the head coach is? And how much does Tom Brady have to say, Darius Butler?
I mean, I would assume he would. I mean, you would have probably the biggest voice in it. And that's just an assumption. If you're Mark Davis, obviously he has been around the business for a long, long time with his pops. But, you bring a guy like Tom Brady into the ownership group, you would assume he would have a big voice. Tom Telesco, he's got to be in it because this is the guy he's going to have, be essentially married to with their head coach, whoever they bring in there. And the Raiders, they've been a shit show, since the hirings and the firings. But at the same time, that's still an iconic brand. That's a global brand. So this is a big job. You got to get your quarterback. If you don't hit on your quarterback, I don't care who's in the room, who's making. We just saw Rand Carthon. He got fired. You don't hit on that quarterback, you don't have a chance unless you have an ownership group that's going to say, hey, we're going to be patient and we're going to give you 3-4 years as long as you show us some progress.
And because of the fact of where they are in the draft, I think they're at 6 right now, and you guys, I want to know what you guys all think, but do you think there's any chance, because of Tom Brady's relationship with Shedeur, of course, that maybe prime Deion Sanders gets an interview where it's hey, if we do bring in this guy, we might not get Shedeur at 6, but if we were to hire his dad, you could probably assume that they're going to get him.
Interesting conversation about Shedeur right now.
Yeah.
And Cam Ward and all the quarterbacks coming out. I am not a draft analyst. I do not study the film and project where people are going to get drafted. I've seen Shedeur spin it. I've seen Shedeur take massive hits. I know that Shedeur has been around NFL brains his entire life. I saw what they were able to do to Colorado, turning that place into a nothing, into a massive something every single week. And obviously, there's other stars around him. But I just naturally assume, Shedeur is going to be a guy in the NFL. Then you hear some of these draft experts, and they're people we're talking to are saying Shedeur ain't number 1 overall type of guy. There's people saying that if Aller was coming out this year from Penn State, which I think is still a decision that has to be made because of the projections of what he could potentially be, not even what he is now, but what he could be, would make him the highest rated quarterback. And then Cam Ward is being discussed as one of the top quarterbacks as well, as he should. The guy is so sweet to watch play football, and what he brought to Miami changed their entire culture as well. But there's people that aren't as high, I think, on Shedeur and Cam in the quarterback discussion as maybe we all would think from outside looking in. So at 6, are you okay? Because the way these drafts have gone is at the top is where the quarterbacks are going to go. People are trading up because they don't want to lose it. If they like a guy, they're going to go get it. Maybe that remains. Maybe that does remain the case with Shedeur. Somebody falls in love and they trade all the way up to 1, 2, or 3 or whatever to get Shedeur, to get Cam Ward, to do whatever they have to do. But from the rumblings that it sounds like that's been coming out in the last couple of days, once again, smokescreen season. We're in the middle of bullshit season for everybody. Is 6 a good enough position to move up a couple spots to 4 if you want to get Shedeur or if you want to make any moves? I think so. They got Brock Bowers over there, who's potentially offensive rookie of the year with what he was able to accomplish. Max is still on the defensive side of the ball. You get a little bit of belief. You get a quarterback over there. Las Vegas is always going to be pumping. I mean, it's always going to be great. It's I assume Raiders fans think we're not that far away. And if they were to bring Prime in, and hire Prime, Coach Prime, obviously Colorado wouldn't be thrilled and everything like that. But that's splash hiring.
Yeah.
That gets Las Vegas pumped.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Shedeur, it's okay, we're going to get the chance to experience this. That would be a massive headline winner. Would it be an actual winner? TBD. But I think all these teams that are in these positions of hiring new people, if you get a good hire, you bring hope back to your team, into your fan base, into your city, which is why these teams that have stuck by the people that they've stuck by have fans so bummed out. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just in terms of the Shedeur and Cam Ward stuff, it's all situational. In terms of you have to get the right head coach because the Browns are definitely going to take a quarterback at 2. And from what we've seen over the last 20 years, it doesn't matter how good that guy is. They're going to have to prove that he can be history just says that guy's going to fail. The Browns are going to take that guy, and he's just never going to reach his potential. Shedeur, same deal. If the Raiders whiff on their head coach and he goes there at number 1, there's a good chance in 2-3 years we're doing the same thing we do with a lot of these guys where it's just not that he's going to be a bust, but it's just they missed on this guy. He's going to have to go elsewhere to be successful. So it does. I mean, hiring the right head coach, and obviously the Brown situation is a little bit different, but hiring the right head coach means everything.
So speaking of hiring the right head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels hired Bill Belichick. The Arrow from NFL Network, Tom Pelissero, is reporting that multiple NFL teams have reached out to Bill Belichick going, are you sure we want to go high school here? Are we sure we want to be dealing with transfer portal? Are we sure we want to be dealing with 17-year-olds and 20-year-olds that maybe are a little bit entitled and don't really get it? Or do you think maybe come coach for the Raiders? So Tom Brady allegedly reached out to his old ball coach. Now, was he just reaching out to say happy holidays, happy New Year because of all the great times he spent together? Or was he reaching out to say, hey, we get it. You took a stand. You said, I just want to coach ball. You're 15 wins away. Okay.
That's it.
You're 15 wins away. Do you want to do what you want to do? Interesting, fascinating. Because as soon as he was hired to North Carolina, the overwhelming reaction, even by people that hated Bill Belichick as a New England Patriot, was basically like, this guy's willing to coach anything. And the fact that he's not an NFL coach is bullshit. Even the people that didn't want him to become a coach for their team were saying, this is wild that he can't get an NFL job. It turns out, the arrow's telling us, a lot of people are like, hey. Last year, that coaching cycle, those people messed it up. That's not on us. We are now in the market. Would you want to come? And I think it's a $1 million buyout, something like that, after June.
Yeah, after June,
easy.
right? 10 before, 1 after.
Yeah, Belichick's UNC contract includes a $10 million buyout if he leaves prior to June 1st, which $10 million bucks. Bill Belichick can do that. Any NFL team can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. And then $1 million bucks, obviously, if he leaves prior to June 1st, 2005. And if he returns to the NFL, I think it's after June 1st, it's like $1 million bucks or something like that. So I think it becomes a very manageable contract. And I think he negotiated that way because this could potentially be an opportunity if the dream job opens up. Now, Mark Davis, Tom Telesco, would they allow Bill Belichick to come in and do his thing out there? If Tom Brady's saying, hey, this is what we're doing, I think they certainly would. How does Bill feel about it? We'll ask him next Monday. Will he give us an answer? Absolutely not.
No way.
Will everybody that's recruiting the same players that Bill Belichick is recruiting use this against him? Absolutely. Just like they were doing to Nick Sabin for the last 10 years of his college coaching career, where they're like, he's quitting. That guy, he's Hall of Fame. He's already GOAT, brother. Mm-hmm. You think he's going to stick around for you if you come in? You need to come to us. Nick Sabin was great, but he's not going to be there for you. They're using that already at UNC. That actually might be some other college teams telling Tom Pelissero that information right there to get Bill screwed out of recruiting. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who maybe he'll be a coach someday.
Should be.
Maybe he'll be president someday.
Maybe
he'll be an owner of a team. It's he, the Kelseys, and Manning on every commercial whenever you watch any NFL game. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Yay!
Jage, you doing too much or no? You think you're in a good spot?
I think I'm in a great spot. I got a very good-looking schedule coming up. I'm loving it, really enjoying it. Life is beautiful.
I think you are,
Are
too.
you doing too much? Hey, let's let pot kettle here.
Yeah, I am. But I am in places where people know that I'm going to be there. That's what the commercials. The commercials, you pop up into everybody's life when they don't know you're going to be there. And I'd like to say, to your credit, I don't think I've seen a lot of people saying we're tired of seeing J.J. Watt. Have you?
A great commercial.
Other people have said it, but like for Jage, there's never like a, boy, I'm sick of seeing this son of a bitch. Nobody's really saying that.
No.
Jage, good for you. That's not easy in the modern world. That's not easy.
There's plenty of people saying it. Don't worry. There's plenty of people saying it.
Yeah, but those people stink. You know, those people have no brains, and those people might not even be real. The real thing is the fact that we all love you. And how's Burnley doing? I see a soccer ball over your shoulder. I see the hat on. Are we still in that second league, and are we getting up to the big leagues ever?
We're playing great ball, brother. We're playing great ball. We have played 26 matches this season, 9 goals given up. We're going on a historic all-time level run. Defense is absolutely stout.
Okay, goalie good too, standing on head every single week.
Goalie, great. James Trafford, phenomenal. Young goalie, future England #1, fantastic keeper.
Oh, so he's not going to be on your team for long, then he's gone, right? Isn't that kind of how that's going to go?
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it all out. It'll all be fine.
We got a lot of good goalies in England. We'll be all right.
Who's we, brother? I don't think you want to be associated with England right now.
I don't know who I want to be associated with at this
I've been reading a lot about England on next. Buddy, there's a lot going on. I haven't seen too much about it. I've learned more about England in the last 4 days on X than maybe since world history back in high school. Sure. Legit. And all I know then is 1776, brother. Yeah. 1-0.
Beat your
Hey, taxation without representation? I don't think so.
Ain't happening.
Not a chance.
Your stupid tea's getting tossed right into this goddamn bay right here, and we can go on and do this thing. But nonetheless, I know you're a massive pillar over there. Hopefully you'll help make it right, because what I'm reading is there's a lot wrong over there. Great people, though. Great people.
Of course.
I was watching the darts. I'm watching Luke the Nuke.
Luke Littler.
He had another world-class championship performance.
He's unbelievable.
The GOAT.
He is. Luke Littler, how old is he now?
17?
Yeah, 18, 19.
What did he say
17,
after his last big world championship win? What did he want to do? What did he?
He just fancied him a couple of kebabs and some vapes, maybe a Coke or a Fanta.
Jage, let's get back to the NFL, shall we? Let's get back to American football. We just talked about Prime potentially going to Las Vegas. We just talked about Bill Belichick potentially getting back into the NFL. We just talked about Pete Carroll getting interviewed by the Chicago Bears. And we just talked about Mike McCarthy being denied access to an interview with the Chicago Bears by the Dallas Cowboys because he is in an exclusive negotiating window with the Dallas Cowboys until the 14th. What are your thoughts on this coaching cycle, and which one of those piques your interest the most, Jage?
The whole cycle is really, really interesting to me. The Belichick one is fascinating because you don't build your contract like that if you don't want to at least keep that door open for a reason. I mean, otherwise, why would you have such a little buyout? And just thinking about the possibilities of that and what the logistics of if that happened and what North Carolina would do, how it would all work. I mean, that's just a fascinating, fun one to think about. McCarthy one's interesting because, like, he's technically out of a job right now, but he's also in that exclusive window. So it's funny that he doesn't have a job but is not allowed to talk to the teams.
I don't know how his agent agreed to that. Because normally that exclusive negotiating window happens before the contract expires. I don't know how this was agreed to, and I don't know how normal this is. This is my first time ever hearing about this.
No, it's very interesting. It's like he's free, but he's not free. So very weird there. Prime obviously would just be phenomenal for many reasons. Entertaining, just chaos. It would be great. Pete Carroll, I think, deserves another shot. I don't know why it's why it's not more common that he should get another shot and would be successful. I mean, I think that he's a great ball coach guys love playing for, has had success. He's a guy that I would certainly look at. And he's also one of those CEO types who, yes, he has his hands in a lot of the different things, but he's not going to be running your offense or your defense. He's going to be overseeing the organization as a whole and making sure the entire thing runs properly. So I really like him. And then obviously Vrabel in New England makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I think everybody kind of thinks that's where that's going.
Wow.
Certainly makes a lot of sense there.
Was that all?
And then the guys.
We don't know that.
The guys from
we don't know
Detroit.
that. We don't know if that's true.
But sense would say it does make it.
Well, no, well, depending upon which sense you are viewing it from. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about sense as in C-E-N-T-S? Because I think Patriot fans say we'll pay more money if old Vrabes come. But sense might be, let's get Pep Hamilton around this young quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's let Byron Leftwich work with this young quarterback a little bit.
But sense would also say that Pep Hamilton, if he loves Joe Milton so much, he might not be the right, choice because this is Drake May's football team.
You don't think Pep Hamilton will fall in love with Drake May? What do you say?
I just think if Pep Hamilton's coming in with a Joe Milton mindset, we might need a more open-minded head coach if he's already thinking, hey, Joe Milton's my quarterback. Hey, man, Drake May's our quarterback. But how do you feel about that, JJ, as far as the Rooney Rule goes? Because obviously, as a Patriots fan, it's felt like Vrabel the whole way. From the front office, it's felt like Vrabel. With Kraft, it feels like Vrabel. But then with the Rooney Rule, people are kind of bashing the Patriots as just kind of making it a big old joke because they interviewed both Byron and Pep yesterday. Do you think it is a big old joke, for one? And two, if you have a guy in your mind that you think should be your head coach, can you really blame the Patriots for doing something like this? Because now, because they did this yesterday, they could, in theory, hire Vrabel tomorrow when he gets to New England for his interview.
I think that a lot of these teams doing their interviews have a very short list in their head, 2 or 3 guys that they actually think that they might hire. And some of these teams are interviewing 10, 15 guys and taking a whole lot of time and effort and energy to go through this whole process when not many of them are serious. Now, are some of them doing it for the Rooney Rule. I'm sure there's probably are some for that because you have to go through that process. I think there's a lot of reasons that people are interviewing coaches, whether it's some GMs or owners or have the same agent or have some reasons why it's good. If a guy gets a head coaching interview, his name gets out there as a potential future head coach, even if there's zero intention of hiring him at this moment. Some guys are getting reps at interviews for future years and all sorts of things. So there's many different reasons why guys get interviewed, and a lot of times, in my personal opinion, there's a pretty short list of who's actually doing a real interview and who's doing an exercise.
The Jets are interviewing 45 people, as are the Chicago Bears. The more information, the more intel, the better, I guess, but also too much information maybe gets lost in the clutter. Let's say you were potentially running a team. AQ has a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, if you got one of these jobs, how would you build the team?
Well, I mean, which job, which team? Like, I gotta
any team. What's your philosophy? Would you build through the trenches? Would you go get a quarterback? How would you do it?
It depends on what you have right now. So, I mean, obviously, if you have Caleb Williams or you have Drake May, you have a young quarterback who you've already got that position established, and you also don't have a lot of money invested in it. I'm going extremely heavily into the offensive and defensive lines. I think if that's the safest, best possible way to build your team, if you're trying to do it right, and you also know you have the runway. That's part of the problem that also happens in today's NFL is that guys are losing jobs after 1 year. So we're not being able to build a team how it needs to be built from a foundation inside out because coaches are now starting to think to themselves, I got to win this year right now. I can't build a culture. I can't build a program. I can't do it the way that I want to do it. I just need to figure out how can I get the best possible players right now to win this season so that I can have this job again next year. And that's really tough to do.
Well, how come some guys can do it and some people can't? You know, how come Jim Harbaugh can go over there and say, you know what? Silver bells. Silver bells. They're able to just win immediately upon arrival. DeMeco Ryans goes into the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL. The Houston stupid Texans, who are sitting in a great spot for the next 10 years, as it does appear in the AFC South, able to flip it around.
We'll get there.
Okay, yeah, let's not.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure we will. But it is, why do you think some of those places? Is it because the roster that they inherit?
So I look at DeMeco, to me, is the outlier because I look at Harbaugh out the Chargers and I look at Dan Quinn with the Commanders. Those are two guys that have turned around programs extremely quickly, clearly put their stamp on it, have done a great job. Those two guys have coached before and have been successful before. I think that experience really pays off, and that's also why I say DeMeco is the outlier because he's that one young head coach who did not have head coaching experience before who has done it extremely quickly. And I also think that's part of the reason a lot of these other owners are firing coaches so quickly is because they're saying, why can't you turn a team around like that? And I don't think it's fair to compare a Gerard Mayo to Dan Quinn or to Jim Harbaugh because they have the experience. But I do think a guy like Robert Kraft is looking at DeMeco and saying, he did it down there in a really bad situation, and now he's got 2 division titles in a row. Why did we struggle so badly at this? Boom, I need to try somebody else. It's tough, man. DeMeco to me is just a special cat, and you just catch yourself with the right guy in the right situation.
Well, there's only 32 jobs, so I think everybody's trying to catch a special cat. And you want to talk about special cat? Jim Harbaugh's the man. We went over there to the bowl. We met your guy, Coach Herb. We met your guy, the strength coach, Pittsburgh, Yinzer.
Legend.
Strength coach, dog. Absolute dog. And we were doing that Silver Bells song because they have a VIP club in their weight room called the Silver Bells Club. And there's red velvet rope around it. You got to get in as if it's VIP around a couple the bench. They're one-arm dumbbell pressing 200 pounds, Khalil Mack.
Crazy.
Yeah, doing that. He's part of the Silver Bells Club. Justin Herbert, one arm, 150 pounds. This quarterback doing that net, let alone the entire room. But Jim Harbaugh, I asked him about why he thought he was able to succeed so quickly. And obviously he said, Justin, we got the golden goose, Justin Herbert, which is how he has been since he got there. But he said everybody in here loves ball. He said Bosa, Khalil, these guys just love ball. And that's why, whenever he says, I've found that people that love ball like me, and I like people that love ball. he feels like he went into the perfect situation, but he was able to pick and choose kind of, right? Yeah. He was able to kind of sort out where he wanted to go, have a quarterback, and then get a chance to kind of experience who the players are. They've been waiting to be great is basically what Jim Harbaugh said. And he said, I'm just lucky to kind of be a part of it all, was the way he viewed it. That's why, like, Ben Johnson has been so picky, I think. I think Ben Johnson is like, situation's going to have to be perfect for me to leave what I'm currently doing. He's making millions and millions as an offensive coordinator, and he could go right back to Sheila Ford Hamp this offseason and say, hey, I'm going to need about another $1 million, just so it makes sense, so I can tell my wife and my family the reason why I'm turning down $10 million a year to go be a head coach here is because I'm making $5 million to be an offensive coordinator here at a great situation. We're going to be happier. Not everybody can do that, I guess. Not everybody has the capability of doing that.
So I've also seen a lot of things out there, obviously. I mean, Ben Johnson, no doubt. Aaron Glenn, no doubt, should be top-tier candidates, and they absolutely are. I've seen a lot of people like, give them whatever they want, don't even need to interview them. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, in my personal opinion, is that a great coordinator is automatically going to be a great head coach.
Agreed.
I think the interview process, sitting down with that guy, figuring out who he is as a person, how he handles the personalities, the egos, the distractions, everything in the locker room, how he has a vision for the entire organization, because the head coach is setting the standard for everybody in the entire building. He has to set the expectations at each level below him. Everybody obviously then reports up the ladder to him, and he's the one who needs to make sure the entire thing goes smoothly. When you're a coordinator, you really got one major job. You take that side of the ball, you make that side of the ball successful. Yes, you have a couple people reporting you, O-line coach, receivers coach, but you are not running the whole organization. I think it is a massively different thing, and you cannot just assume that a great coordinator is going to be a great head coach.
Yeah, because as a coordinator, all of a sudden you're dealing with everybody's bullshit, not just your side of the ball's bullshit. And it's not just like the other side of the ball's bullshit or special teams bullshit. You're also dealing with sales and front office and ownership and the amount of things that come across your desk. Chuck McGonagall's talking
travel.
About what hotel are we staying in
every day?
The itinerary of the day. What's it going to look like? Yep. How long are we allotting?
And you're even hiring an offensive. Let's say you're an offensive coordinator and you become a head coach. You're going to hire an offensive coordinator, but you also know that the reason you got hired is because your offense was great. So you're going to have your hands in that offense, even if you say your hands off or whatnot. You're going to be in those meetings. You're going to be taking that time. So during the game, if the offense is struggling, you're going to be over there looking, trying to figure that out when you also have global problems with special teams, with defense. So I also very much think that it's tough for a head coach to be the main playing caller on one side of the ball. That's very difficult to do.
Yeah, Chuck tells a story about he sat down there after the press conference, everybody celebrating everything, and Miss Tina was sitting in there, and there was nobody else in the room. He was sitting at the desk. And he said he opened the thing. Where's the pamphlet at for this? And there is you can do it so many different ways. You can coach in so many different styles. Your itinerary can be whatever, you dream it to be. There is a recipe for success for all teams. You have to have certain traits, but it's like, how are you going to define your head coaching ability? And that is that what falls on your lap whenever you get hired. Good luck to all the candidates.
Good luck.
There's an organization out there. That people thought might not make a move after this season. They decided not to make a move after this season, but they have in the past made a move mid-season where they brought in a former player with no head coaching experience. And I'm curious if that's something you would ever consider if a certain season didn't go a certain way and you got a phone call and they said, hey, we need an intern that could possibly turn into a full-time. Would you possibly be interested in, say, an old team of yours calling to do a job if they're not doing well, which they haven't done well in quite a while?
They did fire their coach. They hired Rich Rodriguez. You're talking about West Virginia? That's who you're talking about?
I'm talking about the one in the AFC South that hasn't won it in like forever.
Oh, you're talking about the Colts. You're talking about the Indianapolis Colts. This graphic made its way onto the internet, and this was devastating for the AFC West. Okay, there is certainly one particular team that's been there, and then for the AFC South, boy, you see everybody. Everybody's on there.
You don't though.
Everybody's on there. Everybody's on.
I thought there were 4 teams per division. There's 2 divisions there that only got 3.
A lot of blues on there. I guess you don't see any Colts blue there. This upcoming year, though, is the one. This upcoming year is the one. And then you see the passing of the reins of the dynasty basically over there in the AFC East. Not saying that the Bills picked up the dynasty, but certainly for the AFC East, they did. And it's their time. Their window still wide open going into the weekend, which leads to this. Now, would I go coach the Indianapolis Colts mid-season next year?
Half season, yeah. I feel like a half season you might consider. Like if he was like, hey, it's week 10. We need a guy just to finish it out. I feel like you might consider that.
Brother, I'm not at the stage of life that I want to be coaching anybody. You know,
$25 million.
But yeah, this would be awesome, brother.
We can get $25 million for the last 8 weeks of the season.
You on the sideline?
$25 million. Who's paying that?
Jimbo, right?
You think Jim Irsay is offering that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That is cute.
No, I think I think with the right amount of weeks, or okay, let's say it was 3 weeks left, and he was like, "Screw it, I got
a business to run. I got employees, I got families. This guy's got a 3-month-old. This guy's got a 3-month-old right over
They're
here.
going to run the whole thing from here. We're going to have behind the scenes our own Hard Knocks style, Pat McAfee Hard Knocks. You're going to run the show from the facility, Lucas Oil, every week.
I thought about this. I saw a lot of people. Not a lot of people, a good amount of people from the Indianapolis world in the Colts team that were saying, like, why don't you run the team? You seemingly know all the answers. Why don't you run the team? It's like, that would be the angle if I was ever getting the NFL. Not with the Colts specifically, because, once again, I think Chris Ballard's, like, such a good human. Like, you listen to what he's done for the community. Like, he is such a good human. Now, that graphic is damning because he's been there for 8 of those years. You know, that is 8 years. People are going into their second contract, getting drafted by Chris Ballard and then finishing a second contract with Chris Ballard still and have not won the AFC South. So their culture is pretty well cemented in place, what it's going to be.
It's career. It's full. If you're lucky, it's a full NFL career.
My career was 8 years long. That is how long my career was. Now, that is how long Ballard has been in charge of running the Indianapolis Colts. And obviously there has been a lot of success. At the beginning, I think there's been a lot of like, hey, Andrew Luck retired 17 days before season. That throws a wrench into everything. Salary cap, team build, how we doing this whole thing, that changes everything. But 8 years into it, it's a very, very long time. You know, that's a long time. Now, I think Chris Ballard, if he was to leave the Colts, would easily get a job somewhere else and potentially become GM again at some point, which I think everybody would understand. But I don't think coaching is ever something I'd want to do. I think the front office, president of operations would be more so my thing, because I would also like to dabble over into the marketing, the advertising, the social media, that is kind of the world that I would want to live in. So my answer would be no to coaching half a season next year, but that's not going to be the case, because wait until you see what AR does this offseason, okay? He learned how to work, how to be a pro whenever he was benched for those 2 weeks for Joe Flacco. Everybody's talking about it.
They won that last game. Shook the hands of the air in the suites. They were going around to all the suites I saw. They were shaking everybody's hands in all the suites.
And Jim Irsay said he was proud of the boys getting 8-9, win that overtime win over Jacksonville fucking Jaguars.
1-0 in 2025, baby.
All right. Hey, we're going into the offseason with a lot of buzz, you know? And a lot of people made a lot more out of that thing than I thought of it. I thought it was certainly a gimmick, but then I understand why people are saying, Bud, you beat the Jags. I don't think we should be doing. You know, it's like when they went on the podcast after they beat the Jets, and then they had it all figured out. You know, and then the next week.
It was interesting to call attention to the feud between you and them, because I think a lot of people agree with one side of the feud more than the other side.
It does feel pretty good. That does feel pretty good. I would like to let everybody know, and I love you for your support. I love the Colts, you know. All this is because Jim Irsay's money launched it all. Now, I certainly earned it. Let's not get crazy. Maybe get drafted, shouldn't have been, but Bill Polian had faith that I figured it out. I'm very thankful for him for that. But Jim Irsay and I obviously have a relationship, and it's like his money and what he has done for me, my life, my friends, my family is certainly unbelievable. And he's given a lot back to the Indianapolis Colts. So I have a great appreciation for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, season ticket holder, multi-year for the Indianapolis Colts. Talk about the Colts a lot. I would just like to see the Colts be great. You know, so whenever we see things that are not what great teams do, it's hard not to say it in there because, you know, passion gets conflicted with what I'm talking about, but that's what we do every single day. I have hope that they'll be able to put the toothpaste back into the tube. I said that on Monday. I think they're going to be able to do it. Their culture's already been cemented for 8 years, but I think they're going to be able to change it. I think accountability is going to be paid attention to a little bit more, held in higher regard. I think work ethic is going to be something. Maybe a little pride and caring is going to be in there. I think they're going to try to become a likable team because I think they're not a very likable squad. I think it is hard to like. I think that's all going to happen this offseason. Boom, bang, how you doing? Keep it moving.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, look out, Texans, okay? C.J. Stroud's got a lot of naysayers right now about this particular weekend's game, and he said we had that last year too, and then look what happened, not saying that this year is last year, but what he needs to worry about is that the Colts, and I know their ponies, are barking. And that's what this offseason is going to be all about. Before we get to the offseason, there's obviously a lot of awards. Darius Butler has a question for you,
Yes,
Gage.
big awards. I believe over your right shoulder, it might be 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. So
let's get a good shot of this.
yeah.
Wow.
That's some impressive
That's
hardware.
No
And,
Watson
and obviously your brothers, I'm sure, right up there at the top of the odds, along with some other Wisconsin Badgers. But Zach Bond, TJ, Trey, Sertan, all the guys that are in the award. How do you think this year specifically, try to bias aside, how do you think you should go about picking the Defensive Player of the Year this year?
I think it's about as wide open as it's been in a while. I really do. I think there's no real clear cut. Obviously, kind of generally, as you've seen, pass rushers get that first look. That's just the statistics of how it goes. So you look at Trey Hendrickson. I think he certainly had a phenomenal year. I think he certainly deserves to be in that discussion. A guy that I think is extremely overlooked in all this, just as I look through it all myself, I don't have a vote. I'm not a voter, so I just look through it to see how it goes. Andrew Van Ginkel up in Minnesota, 2 pick sixes on the year. I think he has six PBUs. He has over 75 tackles on the year, possibly 80. He's got over 11 sacks. He's doing everything in the run, in the pass, dropping back, rushing the passer, picking it. Doing a little bit of everything, and I think he's overlooked partially playing up there in Minnesota. I think Jonathan Grenard on the other side is also a great player. That duo doesn't get talked about enough. Obviously, you got Pat Surtain playing unbelievable ball as well, just shutting everybody down he plays. DBs are really hard, as you know, to judge off of numbers because some of the best ones ever don't get thrown at, so they don't get the same numbers. I completely understand that as well. Obviously, Miles had another great year and deserves to be up in that conversation as well, just based off of how great he's played.
Oh, that's very nice of a Watt to say that.
It is.
It's very nice.
I mean, always the same. And then obviously TJ's up there as well for everything that he does, the way he affects the game, how he does it. So it's wide open. I'm very curious to see what voters are going to do, and who knows? I have literally no idea.
Let's head over to Hammer Dahn with AP Tone. Tone, did you listen to what Jage just said, and is that going to change anything as you have to put your vote in today, right, Tone?
I wasn't just listening, I was taking notes, okay?
Smart.
Because you would be stupid to not listen to the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And I do believe it's one of the hardest years for Defensive Player of the Year because I don't know if they're like you said, and we talked to Dano about it yesterday, there hasn't been that one standout guy. Like the years where TJ had 22 sacks or last year when he was clearly the defensive MVP. Defensive Player of the Year, and did not win it last year. The AP messed that one up.
You were not a part of them that
no,
year.
I did not.
That is Tone saying the crew last year.
I did not.
That's why I got hired.
I did not vote last year, but no, because it's crazy because JJ talks about it. It's kind of like the MVP has become a quarterback award, and the Defensive Player of the Year has kind of become a pass rusher award. So you kind of start there, but I feel like this year, you throw in the Pat Surtain in the corner, Kirby Joseph at safety, Zach Bond at linebacker, then you have those edge rushers as well. There is a lot to take in this year.
Well, Tone, we think you're going to get it right.
I'm curious, Tone. I'm curious because you would know this better than I do, obviously. I believe that the voting changed this year from past years where now it's 1 through 5 and they're awarded points based on where you voted, correct?
Yes.
Because I do think that's going to play a big part in it here. Depending on how that's all weighted, because I do think certain guys, like we talked about TJ, I think the second place, third place votes are obviously going to help be in addition to first place votes, and that's where it's going to be interesting in a year like this, where I don't think there's one clear cut number one.
Agreed, Jage. We appreciate you, AP Tone, and good luck with your voting. Jage, thanks for making time for us. If you want to join us in the second hour, you can. The person that was going to potentially join us is in Southern California right now, battling through insane fires. No power.
Wow. That makes sense.
You can see that.
I mean, it's going on. If you want to join us in the next hour or no?
I got some time if you want me to. You tell me.
We'll see you then.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state.
college game day is absolutely electric. And Brookings,
College Game Day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's Daniel Russo.
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
Yes. Serious.
Go. Yes.
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is a win here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town, they lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Terry School. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in. No. Don't do that. No. Leave.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping! Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Walk Wednesday. January 8th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts right now. Football has been great to us, and we're lucky to talk about it. It's actually award season here on the program. Today, we'll be giving out some football awards. The Trenchies will be given out by 12-year NFL veteran Super Bowl champion A.Q. Shipley.
A.Q.
A.Q., the way you're sitting, you can't really see that that's Penn State. Boom.
Nailed it.
How do you feel about them taking on Notre Dame? James Franklin's cracking jokes about Marcus Freeman's hairline and how old he is. I think there's a lot of mutual respect. He said, no, it was a compliment. It was a compliment. Okay. They're sitting in a press conference, and he goes to Marcus Freeman, goes, how old are you? And Marcus Freeman goes, 38. And then he goes, look at this guy's hair. I get envious of this guy's hairline every single time. I think James Franklin was complimenting how young Marcus Freeman is and how great of a job he has done, which he certainly has. He has brought a different energy, level, moxie, and athleticism to this Notre Dame football team that is still physical, still very disciplined, taking on basically a mirror of themselves in this Penn State team. Now, I think the weapon, Tyler Warren's a little bit different, a little bit of an outlier. I don't think Notre Dame has that. I also think there's a couple backs for Penn State that are able to go bananas. I think the quarterback, Drew Aller, can spin the pill, but also, is he always going to make the right decision? Feels like Riley Leonard's in a position right now where he's making the right decisions, he's running the ball, and he's carrying that team on his damn back. Fresh off a massive win over the Georgia Bulldogs, they'll be taking on your Penn State Nittany Lions, fresh out of an away game at the Fiesta Bowl against Boise State. How do you feel about the squad that you guys have going into the semifinals? I think this is a heavyweight fight between Notre Dame and Penn State. I think we got a lot of big-time shots. Both defenses fly around. I mean, I am excited for this one down in Miami.
I'm excited for this game, too. I watched them live, boots on the ground at the Fiesta Bowl, and that Penn State team is special. This is the best Penn State team they've had in a long time. And
it's getting emotional.
I know.
I almost just lost my breath there. I'm getting so fired up talking about these guys.
No, you're choked up because of how good they are. You didn't lose your breath. You were getting choked up because of how great this Penn State team is. It's making you emotional because this is what Penn State people have been dreaming of. This is the situation that Penn State folks who have always been left out of the Big Ten convo. You know, when it was leaders and legends in East and West, you know, Michigan and Ohio State dominated the division of the conference that Penn State had been in. Penn State was always 3. Penn State was always 3. Always 3. Now, there was a little bit of an opportunity this year. Ohio State's still wagon. Yeah. Absolute wagon.
They look incredible
in this entire thing. Oregon obviously comes in. They're going to be ready and revamped next year, we assume, with a team that's still going to be great. Hell of a run by those Docs out there in Oregon. But this Penn State team feels real. And it feels like a real opportunity for Penn State to do something. I think Penn State fans are a little bit like, I think they're a little hesitant on it all, though. I think you're like optimistic, but not, I don't think this was expected.
I'm almost too optimistic. I was telling the boys when I came in today, I feel real good about this. I think offensively, they're a better offensive football team, I think, than Notre Dame. Defensively, both teams are great defenses, physical on both sides, good coaches. I played against Marcus Freeman when he was at Ohio State. Love everything he's brought to that team. Special teams-wise might be the difference maker. We'll see what happens. But I love this Penn State team. I love everything that they're doing. They're all in. We've talked about this. Offensively, Tyler Warren, dog. Aller, the running backs, offensive line, best offensive line they've had in a while. Feel good about it.
Best offensive line they've ever had is what I'm being told.
Wow.
Relax over there.
Relax. What they're saying?
Got to remedy.
Relax. My offensive line, center, guard, 34 years of NFL experience. Let's relax.
Okay. We don't know. We don't know what this Penn State offensive line is going to do, but it does feel, I'm happy for you Penn Staters. Legitimately, I'm happy for you Penn Staters.
This is what they've been waiting for. This is the playoff. This is exactly, I mean, we've always been left out, right? Like, we were never going to make the top 4. We were never going to make the top 4, no matter what. But the minute they made it 12 and we felt like we had a chance to get in the dance, this is exactly where we're at.
And I'm also incredibly happy for the Notre Damers.
Yeah.
I mean, it is something that I think even the Notre Dame fans would say, we lose these games. Like the couple games that they have just won.
Georgia? Last week especially. That was
we lose this. You're a Catholic school kid, so there's
was a massive Notre Dame fan going up, had always planned on going to Notre Dame like for college. And last week was like that. I mean, granted, and that Georgia team wasn't the same Georgia team that we've seen over the last couple years, but regardless, 5 stars everywhere. And that is just kind of typically always the game, at least in recent history, that it's like Notre Dame's it's just too much. They just keep, for whatever reason, especially
it's because of speed, brother.
Exactly.
That is always the conversation. As 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler joins us, UConn legend, but has been able to be on the field for basically every college football big game for the last couple of years, which we are very lucky to be a part of. But Notre Dame always had an issue with the miles per hour whenever they would get into these big games. This year, it's like they got dudes, and they are physical enough, I think, to wear down other teams that might be big, strong, and fast. It's like this Notre Dame team is built differently this year than it ever has been, it feels like.
They are, and that's obviously part of the transfer portal era as well. And I think they put a side-by-side, I saw maybe on X, of like the 4 or 5 3-stars on each roster. And like you mentioned, once the playoff time or national championship time or whatever, getting close to that, it's going to be belt to ass once they run into one of these SEC teams, but it hasn't been that case. And then Marcus Freeman, we'll talk about him. Like, the job that he's done coaching, like, in all 3 phases, having the boys ready, like, at 38, 30, like, we played with, he was my teammate at the Senior Bowl, so, like, we've seen this guy come up. And
I didn't know. So I beat Marcus Freeman at the
North versus South was a little,
I was on the South. I didn't love it.
Miles per hour.
Yeah, that was the only one they've got recently.
I didn't love that I was on the South.
Miles per hour. You guys had the edge. Once again, shocker.
Also, we had USC at that time.
Yep.
We had Ray.
Maluga.
Was Clay here?
Damn.
Maluga.
And Clay?
And Kutch, or not
Cushing. Brian
Cush.
Cushing. Oh, man.
And then Fili Moala was also
Feely.
on that team. He ends up getting drafted to the Colts. So we had all the USC guys. We had the SEC. And then ultimately we had Pat White. And
you didn't stand a chance, Butch.
It's a good game.
I didn't know we beat the hell out of Marcus Freeman.
He's been a great coach. You know, I won the coaching battle last week, and obviously we'll see if he can win it again this week.
I like where Notre Dame is, and when you talk about having money,
that helps.
They got it.
They got a lot of boosters.
Yeah, pretty powerful institution behind them as well.
And also a funnel of a pipeline from Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Which I did not learn until I talked to you, because Catholic school kids are going to know this. I didn't associate with a lot of Catholic school kids throughout my entire life. I actually had quite a vision of you guys for a large part of my life, and still I have to bury that thought about you guys from all my life, basically judging how soft you guys would have to be Catholic school kids. And you wear khakis every day. Shut up. I don't want to hear it like that. Oh, it's expensive to go to a Catholic school. Oh, you come from. So that is how I've always viewed Catholic school kids growing up. Now, getting to know a lot of Catholic school kids, I was pretty wrong about a lot of these dudes. Now, I'm sure there are those people
for sure
that exist in those Catholic schools, but it's like there is a discipline that is taught in there that it certainly helps in life and everything like that. And having that pipeline of Catholic schools wanting to go to Notre Dame, like the dream is to go to Notre Dame. Like that is kind of the thought through all these Catholics. That's going to help out, plus the NIL, plus everything else they are cooking. It's a good time to be a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, I think.
Without a doubt. And, you know, I think a lot of like Notre Dame fans appreciate that Marcus Freeman, for by large, like he's a good dude. He doesn't seem like a sack of shite, which maybe the previous guy, you know, a lot of people kind of thought he was towards the end. No shots fired, kind of just is what it is. But like he's doing it the right way as well, you know, which I think a lot of people, especially around that campus and longtime Notre Dame fans, appreciate.
He's a Catholic too. I think he converted to Catholicism.
Yeah, right.
And he is seemingly the guy. He can have that job for 40 years too.
Oh, yes.
Like actually. At the age of 38.
For sure.
Remember how the team reacted when he was announced as the head coach.
Well, I don't think they knew, right?
Yeah, they didn't know. So they knew, obviously, Brian left, and then he walked into the weight room, and it was a big, that was pretty dope to see.
Yeah, I think the strength coach and a lot of the coaches said, we're staying with this guy instead of going down to Louisiana. But I think it was before it was announced who the head coach was. Players didn't know who the coach was going to be. They were in the weight room, and the strength coach talks about it's always going to be about this, it's going to be about this. And now your new head coach of the Notre Dame team. And then when Marcus Freeman turns that corner, I think the boys were both surprised and then immediately elated. And then as they're jumping in the middle, you see Marcus Freeman and the boys show a level of respect. Like, all right, let me get back to the front of this thing. Now let's go ahead and do this. It is not a lot of young guys are able to take on that big of a job. That's a huge job. I mean, you look at Dillingham over there at Arizona State. He's how old? Let's go to Hammer. Dahn. Tone, how old is Dillingham? I think he's like 32 or something.
32, 33, somewhere around there. So it's insane. And he's been coaching since high school. But we talked about it the last 2 weeks with Notre Dame and their social team. Just another absolute banger. Obviously, they're going down to Miami, so there's only one man you can use. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Mr. 305.
There might be a Pitbull appearance in here.
Sure.
We don't know with the way the Notre Dame social media team has created. They had Jeezy. Then they had This is the way I live. Little boys still pushing big wheels. Which we didn't expect from Notre Dame.
No.
Great song.
And then now they got Ricky Ross. Okay, I don't know what Penn State's social team is doing, but Notre Dame is undefeated.
It's only one Penn State can counter this with.
Who's that?
LeVar's boy. Hottest rapper on the planet right now.
Hell yeah.
Ball?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Arrington.
Hit us in that corner.
Me too.
Whoa.
It's banger, huh?
Banger.
Tweaking. People are playing it non-stop.
So I saw the Inside the NBA crew was asked to finish the lyrics, and they didn't know the lyrics, but they all started doing the sound. Anytime you got the whole world doing it, it's like, congrats, Leangelo.
Yeah.
Great name, too.
Mm-hmm. Great name.
Great name, Leangelo, in the entirety. Maybe Penn State will do that. Maybe you should get that. Maybe you should get that AD on the phone.
Yeah.
And say, hey, listen, social media team, this is what we need.
This is what we need.
Okay, because Notre Dame's been burying folks with their highlight videos.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see Riley Leonard caption on one of his photos on Instagram?
Ooh, I did not. What is it?
Me either.
It said, "Gimme Notre Dame." Okay, so I think that is potentially give me Alabama. Maybe. A lot of people would send it to me and said, hey, have you seen this from Riley Leonard? It's also, I think he has fallen in love with being a Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah.
The way he has talked about the place, the building, the history, he is picture perfect for Notre Dame.
Without a big-time God-fearing man as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that certainly goes a long way.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hammer. Dahn. These semifinals are about to be fucking awesome, Tone. It feels like the four teams are here. In that game to kick it off down in the Orange Bowl, obviously it's Miami, so it's going to be hot, so everybody's going to be feeling good. But that's going to be a smash-mouth football game, which is good for football, I think. Good for college ball, Tone Diggs.
Yep, I love the matchups for the semifinals because it's kind of good on good for everyone in this situation. We start with the Orange Bowl down in Miami, where Notre Dame is a 1.5-point favorite against Penn State. And they are basically carbon copies of each other. They run the ball, and they play defense, and they are physical, and in the trenches, they dominate. The one in this one will be, can Drew Aller throw better than Riley Leonard? Yes, he can, but can he do that against Notre Dame's passing defense, which I believe is like number 2 in the country?
How many picks does Watts have? All of them?
6 on the year. He's a first-team All-American. He is absolutely dominant.
Yeah, he's going to be
on that guy.
Oh yeah, that is going to be a Sunday matchup. Tyler Warren and Watts. Yes. I'm very, very pumped to watch that. And then in the other game down there in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State and Texas. This is the best defense that Ohio State will see all season long. Sorry, Penn State, but Texas has got that man-meat up front and a secondary that nobody outpieces the hype, but nobody can also stop Jeremiah Smith.
You're right.
But the Texans can only hope to contain them. But these teams can both run, they can both pass, they both have incredible defenses. So the matchup being down here with Ohio State -5.5, -6, total of 53, I believe, 53.5. So they think it's going to be a higher scoring game, obviously, than the Orange Bowl. But the matchups in this one are this weekend are awesome.
Yeah, just like last week, how Ohio State-Oregon was like the national championship, whoever wins this, it does have the feeling that Texas-Ohio State.
What?
Unfortunately.
Did you hear what we were just saying about Penn State? We were literally.
I love Notre Dame, too. I love what they're doing. They treated us like kings when we went up there earlier, and they're an Indiana school. With that being said, it does feel like the two classes of the college football playoff are, the Cotton. Yeah, it's the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl. And the Cotton Bowl has the two teams that are extremely dominant, and then the Orange Bowl has the very gritty, win in the trenches team.
Texas almost lost to Arizona State. Let's not forget that.
No.
I agree.
Overtime.
What are you saying? Arizona State shite to AQ? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think what he's saying is saying there's two classes at this stage. I think it's different. I think we got the 4 right teams at this point of the season with how everybody's playing. But you see what Notre Dame did to Georgia?
Exactly, yes.
I did not expect that. Did you expect that? This isn't even SEC ESPN. Okay, and you were pulling for Notre Dame in that particular game. So I remember you doing that, but I didn't expect that out of the Notre Dame team. I thought it was going to be the same old song and dance whenever we got to this stage of the season. Notre Dame's not going to be able to keep up. Kirby Smart's going to be able to do it. And it's like they out-athleticed Georgia, and they out-powered Georgia, out-physicaled Georgia.
Out-executed.
Everything you need was just like Notre Dame down it. And then Penn State, they're spending just as much money as everybody else. Mm-hmm. That is the story that's not being told. Everybody talks about, Texas has 3 collectives is allegedly what it is. They have so many people giving money to the organization. They got all the money in the world down there. They're able to afford whatever roster they want. Oregon, obviously, has Nike behind them. So they have, we're going to win. We're going to wear the sickest uniforms, sickest gear. Not only is it a massive commercial for us, we're not the only ones wearing Nike. A lot of people wear Nike, but this is where Nike founded. So they're going to be all in. Ohio State has been talked about since the beginning. Hey, they're going all in, spending all of this money that they have. And down the SEC, I'm assuming there's some massive contracts being given out as well, more places that we are mentioning. But Penn State is always the team that is. Michigan has Larry Ellison now behind him, pushing. He's $208 billion, married to a Michigan lady.
That's a lot of money.
So now he's a Michigan man. He owns one of the islands of Hawaii. So the United States got that, obviously. Hawaii and a big part of it. And
Lanai.
He owns Lanai, yeah. Owns one of them.
I don't know if that's the island.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
It's my wife and I's favorite place in Hawaii, actually. Now, granted, going over to Honolulu and all the other places, fantastic. And the people are amazing over there. That is a big piece of it, of why Hawaii. But you get there and it just radiates this energy that, like, this is the greatest place to ever exist. I mean, it is so good. Lanai is like one of the, I don't want to say like a deserted, but it is like very, very small, not a lot of people. And he just bought it.
It's unbelievable.
He just bought it. He just bought it. So now he is contributing.
Is he the Oracle?
Yeah.
What does Oracle do?
What's that? I don't know.
You don't want to.
$208 billion.
It's a database. It's basically a database for like sales organizations, stuff like that.
That's what they tell you.
And what, they just have everybody like McAfee antivirus had everybody?
Yep. Salesforce and Oracle pretty much have everybody.
Okay. What did John McAfee? All right, let's move along.
We should ask him.
Do you know where he is?
No, nobody does.
That documentary of him getting on those boats with all those guns, keeping it moving. I know too much. I know too much. They know that I know too much, and he just kept it moving. But Penn State is a team that money. They have the most CEOs out of any university in the entire country. So.
That's electric.
Penn State?
Yeah, Penn State. Most CEOs in the country. So CEOs get paid a lot of money at a lot of places.
Yeah.
So if you're getting $1 million, like obviously Oracle, $208 billion can drop. Phil Knight, billions can drop a lot of money. Hey, you need $100 million, whatever. But whenever you have like thousands of millionaires that can give $1 million, $500,000, it's like they're collecting cash. They're doing a $700 million stadium renovation that's already started there. And that's nowhere near the amount of money that they're okay to approve towards a roster. They're willing to outbid, I think, anybody whenever it comes to money to put this football team together. It's not just that. Basketball, volleyball, all their sports, all their alumni. And we've talked about Penn State being a cult, and that's a compliment. There's a lot of cults in college. That is the reason why college sports are the way they are. But that Penn State cult is very large, very desperate, I think, to win. And they got cash. You hear somebody wants Penn State, they probably got money, is probably the way it's going to be. And they're taking advantage of that. That's not talked about whenever it comes to Penn State football.
You know who else they got?
Who's that?
The Pagulas.
Who are the Pagulas?
The Bills owners?
Buffalo Bills owner. Every
and a Buffalo
place
Sabres.
on
What?
And the Sabres.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, every place on Penn State's campus is named after the Pagulas.
Let's go to the Ohio State campus that has one name all over it as well. And there's also one tree that is on that campus and is held by a man who's a national champion for the Ohio State University Buckeyes. He's a Super Bowl champion for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. AJ, we just broke down both these games. Obviously, we're going to be on the field for both of them. Let's talk about that Ohio State-Texas team. I saw Bobby Carpenter on Get Up this morning.
Yeah.
It was good to see the general back on TV chit-chat. He is still bringing it. Yeah. 5 big booms out of General Carpenter every day, every single day. What are your thoughts on that game? How do the Ohio State people feel about this Ohio State team going in and take on a very, very good Texas Longhorn squad?
I mean, I feel like Ohio State people are definitely optimistic. I think they respect Texas, though. Like, people here understand that Texas is legit, Sark is legit, and this team has a ton of talent. Obviously, they're very aware of Quinn Ewers and all the magical things that dude can do with his arm. So, I think they're optimistic, but they also want to continue to get out to these fast starts. I mean, that changes the game. Ohio State they've been, these last 2 games, they've been jumping out to an early lead, and that kind of changes the game plan for the opposing team when you get out to such a fast start and all of a sudden the team's already playing catch up against you.
That's first play right there at a tight end lineup at running back. They have 2 running backs that are unbelievable. And Chip Kelly's just been cooking, getting the ball into this guy's hands. Tone Diggs alluded to it. Nobody is going to be able to stop that guy. And you just have to hope to contain him. Texas obviously has talent all across the board. That's triple team. I don't know what else you can do. You know, there isn't a better coverage that you can draw up or call. There's another one. There's 3 guys around the ball. I mean, it's what Will Howard's been dialing up and what Chip Kelly's been dialing up and the way they've been executing. There's a reason why they are the odds-on favorite to win the national championship. Can they continue to do that as they have to travel to Texas to take on Texas in the semifinals? Then that other game, Notre Dame, Penn State, we were just chit-chatting. Obviously, everybody talks about how much money Ohio State's spent on the roster. I think that was a rude narrative to start at the beginning. And I think a lot of teams were thankful that Ohio State's getting that. Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah, Ohio State's spending $20 million. Yeah. That's what
they also did it. They did that to retain a lot of their roster as well. A lot of their guys on defense came back for another year, and that was part of it as well. It wasn't just getting guys from other places.
Yes, I agree completely, but I'm saying and I was even contributing to it because I heard a number and I'm like, damn. They're spending $20 million. And now that we've traveled the country a little bit and we've understand the current landscape of college football. It's like a lot of other teams are like, yeah, I can't believe Ohio State's spending just 20 million.
Keep talking about that.
Yeah, they're like, only 20. Hey, they're spending only 20 over there. That means that is because these teams that are left, they have all been invested into their, not just their football team, but sports as a whole. And all these fans, all these teams left have massive fan bases that are going to want to support. Penn State, Notre Dame, how do you think that one turns out? We've been talking about it being a heavyweight fight. Obviously, both very physical. Watts versus Tyler Warren right there in the front of the graphic is going to be fun to watch how, Kotelnicki decides to get him involved in the game. And how much does Kotelnicki decide to, it's a big stage. Let's drop some cool-looking plays.
Exactly.
Let's do some really fun things here.
Let's not.
Huh?
Let's not.
What are you talking about?
Let's run the football.
Well, we got
get tricky.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We need to make.
I'm over the trick stuff. Run the football.
The trick stuff is good though because future opponents have to study for.
How many more future opponents do we have?
Exactly.
We got enough trick stuff on tape. Let's play football.
Okay, all right. That is how AQ feels about Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator for the Penn State Nittany Lions. But I think the way we see this is going to be a fight in a phone booth. And that's who's going to win this game is who can withstand the blows that are going to be thrown and who can give out more of them, just like it was a heavyweight fight. That guy's unguardable as well. How do you see this game going down in Miami on Thursday?
Well, first I wanted to ask AQ, obviously an insider to the Penn State program. Is Abdul Carter going to be rolling? Is he good to go? How does he feel, AQ?
Yeah, I think he's banged up, but I think he's going to give it a go. I think this is a major moment, a massive moment in his career and for the program, and I think he gives it a go, and he is going to be humming off the edge.
You know what I like that hasn't been talked about a lot this year that was talked about in years past? And I think it's because a lot of NIL money and incentives are based around payments after bowl games. You haven't heard a lot of guys just sitting out games, because they're like, my draft stock. No, I'm not saying college football playoff games. Anybody would do that.
Or would they?
But we'll see.
At some point, someone will. Yeah.
I don't think so. With the way these contracts are being kind of set up, I think the bowl games have been added into the contracts. So I think the NIL thing has actually helped bowl games, bowl participation, and kind of put to bed a little bit some of the negative drama that was around players opting out for future earnings or whatever it was. Feels like that wasn't a big storyline this year, right?
Agree.
Wasn't a big storyline. No. I don't think anybody really talked about it. And then Burke Magnus, president of content for ESPN, put out a tweet that was like, all bowl season was up. Everything was up. People talk about there being too many college bowl games, yada, yada, yada. Everything. Ratings was up, 18 to 39 or whatever, up in viewing. Everything in this college bowl season. And I think this year there was less convo about that because the 12-team playoff maybe took a lot of the distraction. I think a lot more people enjoyed those other bowl games, just kind of like, we know what this is now, as opposed to the ones that – because I think they were trying to make all these bowl games act like they were important. Like they were trying to make them all feel good. Hey, welcome to the Toto Toilet Bowl. This is a fucking meaningful thing. Like that is what people tried to do. And we do – what's that?
The names, that
that's the tough thing.
The Belk Bowl.
Yeah, the Porta John. Yeah.
The games this year were great.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this year there was less of the argument of whether or not bowl games matter because the 12-team playoffs were the thing that, like, these games are a bonus game for these teams. This is how they're going to propel into next season. I think there was just a lot more proper perspective on what bowl season was this year as opposed to years past. And I think there was a lot more participation from guys than years past because of the way the NIL incentives are set up. So I would like to thank college football for having a phenomenal postseason thus far. And obviously there's some blowouts in games, but I've enjoyed those as well because those are all helping build to the precedent that's being set for future 12-team playoffs and how we need to go. I've really loved this college football season from beginning to end, all the way back in Dublin through now. It's like I've really enjoyed this college ball season when there was a lot of calls for doom and gloom, a lot of 5 big dooms coming towards college ball, but instead it's been a complete opposite.
Yeah, we always worried, I think, when we were talking about, what are the unintended consequences or whatever from this NIL situation, all the money coming in. We were just worried about, like, the play on the field. Like, is the play going to suffer? And no, I think the play has gotten better on the field. Like, we're seeing top-tier matchups, it seems like, week in, week out. yeah, some guys are transferring and whatever. Sometimes it's pretty cool to see a guy who all of a sudden he gets to his second or third team and he's a superstar. He just need to be in the right system.
Cam Ward, obviously, coming into prominence. Not that he wasn't over there at Washington State, but over there, he came into prominence. Will Howard coming out of Kansas. I mean, he's been put onto a massive stage and has shown up. How is he? I don't see a lot of interviews with him. Feels like he's got great swag. Does he do a lot of local talking? And how does he sound going into the biggest game of his life coming up?
The only things I've seen from him, and I don't see him out there doing a ton of stuff. He seems pretty dialed in. Anything I hear from really any of the Ohio State players, when I watch like local stuff, they're all talking about like, hey, we got 2 games left. Like we haven't done anything. That's kind of been their MO. I think recently, yeah, they're excited. They celebrated the wins for a little bit, but I think they all know like none of this cool stuff we have done these first 2 games have kind of switched this narrative after a terrible loss to Michigan. It all means nothing if we go out there and we drop one of these games.
That's just like Oregon, undefeated, Big Ten champs, losing the Rose Bowl. It's over.
Yeah, that's it.
The finality of it is right there. This team's never going to be together again. You're going to have to find new pieces, and you're going right back to the bottom of the mountain again next year. Obviously, hang the Big Ten championship banner. First year over there, congratulations. You earned it. You had a great season. You had to beat a lot of people in a lot of big moments to do that. But it's like once it's over, the only thing you remember is your last game. And that's kind of a shame.
Yeah,
that is kind of a shame with how it works, but that's just the reality of the business. And the business is good right now for college football. 4 massive fan bases. I think the ratings are going to be through the roof. Today's Wednesday, isn't it? Whenever I said that's on Thursday.
Tomorrow, yeah.
That is tomorrow.
Night. That's awesome, man. It's great. It's
so pumped.
Here.
We'll be live tomorrow from the College Game Day set, this particular show. And then I believe there's a College Game Day from 6 to 7:30. And then I believe the game starts immediately after that down there at the Orange Bowl. We'll be on ESPN2 with our Field Pass. If you want to enjoy the game with us, we will certainly be trying to do that. And then obviously, who's calling that? Is that McDonough and McElroy?
I would assume so, but I have no idea.
Me neither.
I would assume that I don't think Herbie and Fowler are going to call both of them.
No, they're calling the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be McDonough, and because they called the Georgia and Notre Dame game.
So they'll be on ESPN. We'll be on ESPN too. I believe we'll be having a couple people stop by for conversations.
Nice.
Hey.
I believe there's a chance the athletic director for Penn State hops on the microphone.
Okay. Is Mr. Gillis going to be there?
So I did reach out. I do not think so.
What?
That's surprising.
I think show in San Antonio.
Yeah, I figured that might be.
I think there is. I think the day of game.
Oh, did he guess wrong?
Yeah. I think there was I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe there is a little bit of a conflict. You get into Thursday, Friday, that gets into people's show schedules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wednesday, you're in a good spot.
You're good.
Everybody's kind of free on a Wednesday. Monday even, people normally kind of have it free. Thursday, Friday's a little bit of a difficult thing, but maybe Shane makes it happen. From the last I heard, though, that he was not going to be in attendance, but we assume there will be many people down there that we will run into, and if we get a chance to chat with anybody that's pulling for Notre Dame or Penn State, that'll be an honor. Then we'll fly over to Dallas, hopefully.
Any weather update?
They're brining the streets, I hear, so we should be good.
They're doing what?
What's that mean?
They said they're brining the streets. I don't know. I guess it's some kind of chemicals to hopefully have the ice. Maybe if if ice comes, it doesn't come as fast. I don't know.
You know what? I would like to let the world know that if they are using some new shit that they created in a lab to stop ice from taking over streets, I'm about it. I think we as a society should have figured this out already.
They did it around here.
Yeah.
It's just salt water, basically. Brine is like what you use for like chickens and turkeys when you're cooking them to make them more flavorful in the crusty skin.
Before this storm,
finally something good coming from labs.
Okay. No, that's what I'm saying. Can we get... That's what I'm saying. That isn't what happened, though. I think they just put salt water.
Oh, that doesn't sound
Salt's been here for a while.
Yeah, this has been here a long time. The ocean actually started this entire thing. So Brian is a scoop of ocean water, put in there and said, we fucking figured it out. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I didn't know that until obviously this.
There we go.
And how long,
before? How long does that last to where, like, if let's say 24 hours from now, it's still there?
Don't you think there should be some spray that we've already created?
Yes.
Should there not be some spray that we've already And I'm bummed out that it took me this long to think about growing up in all cold climates. And you just get that salt out, here we go. Go put the salt out there. Make sure you do it. And you put it out there like, this is not going to do shit. If it really comes, it's going to beat this. Okay. Maybe if it is a very, very, very light snow, light situation, you'll see the little hole where the salt dehydrates and removes the water so it isn't able to work. But other than that, you just got a bunch of salt on your shit, and there's snow and ice on top of it. And when you're shoveling it, you're actually trying to pick the frozen-ass salt off of the cement. I mean, every year we do it. We do it every year. Since what? The beginning of time, we think that that's going to work? It ain't.
Remember the flash freeze last year? That didn't work at all.
No, they literally sprayed, dropped it down to -10, and then just Mother Nature sprayed water over the entire Midwest. It was just a flash freeze over everything. They're like, don't move. If you have the capability of not moving, you should do that. You walk outside, it's an ice rink. You take your car outside. You know, they say like black ice, the ice that just kind of blends in with the cement that you can't see. Every road is like, that's basically what they've said. How have we not created something that is able to stop that from happening? I'm legitimately...
We got to heat the roads. We got to lay the piping in and run that liquid through there and heat the roads. But unfortunately, there's millions of miles.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll be able to figure that out from a budget situation. Got a lot of money going to a lot of places. I haven't heard one person say, you know what, let's make a better road system in America.
Infrastructure, too, like that wouldn't take any time or anything. You just dig up every road and highway in the United States and put some hot piping underneath.
And all the companies that would get those contracts, they're very efficient and good.
Without a doubt.
And they want to get it done quickly and right.
Exactly.
They don't want to get it wrong, so then they get hired again, and they also don't want to take forever, so they get paid for longer. We haven't rewarded a poor system for since the beginning of time in this entire thing.
No.
Yeah, that's not what they want to do. They want to get it done quick and 100% right, so you never have to fix it again.
Exactly.
This is a good idea.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, we've created enough stuff in labs. I mean, you would think that they'd be able to figure this out at some point.
Like what?
You tell me.
There's a lot of stuff created in labs, right? Medicine for people.
Some people go into the lab.
Good thing.
Bombs.
Great jumpers.
Great jumpers are created in the lab.
Make beats in the lab.
Yeah, songs
Sometimes
come out of the
things
lab.
get leaked and they say they came from soup or something.
Yeah, like new music will get leaked.
Batman. You remember when that was the topic of conversation? That was awesome. We had COVID-18 on the show one time.
We did.
It was a bat.
Younger brother.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
Look, that was worth a watch. That one's worth a watch. Just like I think yesterday's Hulkster press conference, worth a rewatch.
Yep.
So good.
A lot of little gems in it.
It is. So good.
It holds up.
It certainly
holds up.
It certainly does. Speaking of holding up, let's talk about the Super Wildcard Weekend. Obviously, a lot of conversation this week is about people getting fired and who's going to end up where. Pete Carroll maybe back in the NFL with the Chicago Bears. Okay. Ooh. How about the Rooney Rule up there in New England? What are we doing? We making a mockery out of this entire thing, or what's the deal? Mike Vrabel heading up there. We think the New York Jets. Brick Johnson's not making any decisions. Okay, we got other people to do that. Tannenbaum and the 33rd team, they're interviewing everybody. New Orleans Saints obviously have to figure it out. The Las Vegas Raiders have to get it figured out. That's kind of been the topic of discussion around the NFL this particular week, aside from like Tyreek Hill saying, get me the hell out of Miami and some of the other stuff. Let's talk about what's happening this weekend. Massive weekend. Saturday, Chargers, Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens. Absolute clashes of titans there to kick off Super Wild Card Weekend. And then you got Broncos, Bills, Packers, Eagles. Is Jalen Hurts going to practice today? What's Jalen Hurts' brain looking like right now? We get an answer. Everybody's got eyes on whether or not the Eagles will have their starting quarterback or not, taking on a Green Bay Packers team that hasn't been playing fantastic, but is young and certainly capable of winning against anybody. And then Commanders, Buccaneers are the nightcap there. Baker Mayfield in primetime. That's going to be a blast. And on Monday night, Super Wild Card Weekend wraps up in Los Angeles, which right now,
oh yeah,
T's and P's to everybody over there.
Oh yeah,
scary shit.
Hey, I saw some horror film like videos coming out of
people trapped with no way to stop anything.
100-mile-an-hour winds, they're saying, just spraying these fires all over Southern California.
How'd they start? Do we know how they started?
I sure something will come out about a spark happening somewhere, and then all of a sudden one thing leads to another. They haven't had enough rain, maybe dryness. That's kind of seemingly the answer all the time, and everybody's just like, okay, because we don't know enough about it. I didn't grow up in fire areas. Canada has a lot of big-time fires every single year, it feels like, and then there's fire season in California as well. Used to be Northern California, I think, and then now it's dropped into Southern California over the last couple of years. The Sunset Boulevard yesterday, cars were just abandoned. Like hundreds of cars were just abandoned because the fires were getting so crazy and people were sprinting, trying to run away from it down the middle of Southern California. And then I think there's videos of people in these houses in the hills with fires completely around them and not able to exit. And it's like, what the hell are these people going to do? Aaron was supposed to come on today. He has no power. He's in the middle of it. He said he has friends and neighbors that have lost everything from these fires, gone just in a matter of one day worth of fires taking place up out of nowhere. So obviously, positive thoughts and prayers to all of Southern California right now as you guys are battling through these crazy. I mean, this is horror film type stuff coming out with these fires.
Very small problem in relation to all that, but you would think that might actually affect the game. Like they might have to move it because that's not a complete dome. So if the air quality in LA is not good, that's getting in to SoFi because it's not completely covered. So you would think they might actually consider.
And the way we learn about the air quality index is because the Canadian fires. Having so much smog, they were coming down to Indianapolis and into Ohio was taking over. I couldn't even imagine if it was in the ballpark or the neighborhood of the stadium. Certainly going to have to keep eyes on that, but also positive T's and P's to everybody over there. I couldn't even fathom having to make a lot of decisions that you're having to make.
Yeah.
What do you save? What are we keeping? What are we grabbing? What are we not grabbing?
What do you take for real? What do you take with you if you are able to get out?
And it's all having happened like this because it's 100-mile-an-hour winds gusting these things, so they're just like really far away, and then because all you need is just one little spark or two to get spread in another place, and then it just kind of builds. It's like worst case scenario happening over there. And then I reposted a post last night. They're asking for like firefighters to volunteer, not professional firefighters and volunteer firefighters to basically volunteer their time to come over there because they don't have enough firefighters right now to kind of combat everything that's taking place. It's like I had I have family that are firefighters. It's like absolute badass. Have to have a certain mentality, obviously, to sprint towards problems. Every time you work, you are going into a nightmare situation and trying to, make the most of it and put it out and fight and wrangle everything that's taking place. So I have nothing but respect for firefighters. But over there, they're saying, hey, we are out flanked by these. We don't have enough for it. So I think they're asking for help over there. And then obviously everything gets political at the end of the day. And obviously that's going to continue to burn through these conversations, but we hope you're okay over there. Hey, we're pulling for you. Scary.
Terrible.
Scary.
I got two former teammates that are volunteer firefighters in Boise and Northern Cal, so I need to reach out. They're probably going over there.
Yeah, I think this is like an all hands on deck type situation taking place. It is
crazy.
Smoke jumpers.
Just now that I have a daughter, you think about that.
We were just there too.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
Like just there.
And it was the Pasadena fire chief who was the one who said, like, this is the worst case scenario. Like, we're in it right now.
I did see that President Biden had to cancel his event out there because of the fires and everything like that. So we almost weren't able to take off because it was shut down for his arrival. And it's like, that's how close Gumpy and I were to being. So lucky that we were legit in nothing but T's and P's. But anyways, Vikings-Rams wraps up super wild card weekend. I mean, we've got some great games. AJ, which game are you looking forward to most and why, pal?
Man, I mean, so I played for the Packers for 9 years, so I definitely pay attention to what they do. I am curious about that Packers-Eagles game. Obviously, I want to see Jalen Hurts. How is this guy doing? I heard he's supposed to be available for practice today, right? Isn't that the news?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I read something that he's available for. They think he's going to be available for practice. So whatever time, here we go.
Yeah, I read
2:10 is Eagles practice.
Yeah, this is a timeline here that was tweeted out. I did not read what you said about him being available. I've not heard any of that. I've only heard still in protocol. You saw okay. That's great news for I think NFL fans as a whole. Seeing starting quarterback for a team that is in playoffs, especially the Philadelphia Eagles. It's great for Eagles fans. It's great for Nick Sirianni, definitely. Okay, it is great for Nick Sirianni that he'll be playing in there. So you pay attention to the Packers because you were there. I think they're also a fun team to watch. Very young. Very, very young team. Are they a year or two away? I think a lot of people just assume that. But you can make a massive win on Wild Card Weekend if you're able to go into Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, last year they were the 7th seed, and that was like the Cowboys going in were very hot. Their offense looked great, and they absolutely dismantled them in Dallas. But it's one of those things. I think they're playing with house money, with how young they are and everything. And everyone maybe think 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, everyone was kind of circling them, saying, "Hey, the way this team plays, they could be a team that." If they play their best, like they could beat anybody, but they're so inconsistent that they could also lose to anybody. So we'll see. I think you're going in with house money, and that first game of the season when they played the Eagles in Brazil, I don't think you can take much from that because the playing surface was weird. Love got hurt. Jalen Hurts looked really bad, and the Eagles' defense wasn't what it is now then. So. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I think that should be a very good game.
How's Jordan Love's hand? Do we know? Sorry, how's Jordan Love's hand? Remember he lost feeling in it last time.
Yeah, I mean, he said in the presser basically like, "Hey, non-issue. Like, I'm going to be playing." So.
Christian Watson, though, right?
Tore his ACL. Yeah.
Okay, so there he is. That does suck. T's and P's. I think at this stage of an ACL tear with rehab surgery, they're saying potentially missing beginning of next season as well over there.
Yeah. I would assume that could be the last time we see him play as a Packer. We'll see.
Okay.
Damn. It's year 4 already?
Yeah, 3 or 4, but we'll see. I don't know. He gets hurt a lot. That's kind of the thing, is he's not available.
Well, Godspeed on the recovery. There's a couple games on Saturday I'm interested by. You talk about what happened last year with the Packers in the playoffs. Last year with the Texans in the playoffs. They had a massive win when nobody thought they were going to be able to do that. They're too young. They're not able to kind of hang. Here's what C.J. Stroud had to say about the naysayers saying that this particular team ain't going to be able to get it done in the playoffs. They've been playing bad.
Yeah, I mean, noise is always going to be there. It's always, it's part of the sport. It's always evident in the sport. And they said the same thing about us last year, so playing the Browns. And I'm not saying this last year, but, we went out there and we did what we had to do to win. And that's ultimately what the playoffs come down to is like, it's 14 teams now and, the microscope is on you. We're the first team to kick it off with the Chargers and, so everybody has their own opinions, which they're entitled to have those things. So, I really don't mind. I mean, it's part of it. Guys are smart. They probably can see film and see that, whatever they want to see. So, and for us, we know we have faith in what we can do and know that we're motivated to play. I kind of like being an underdog. I've been an underdog a lot of my life and my career, so it's actually comfortable for me. So, but yeah, I don't really think too much.
He looked a little bummed out at the beginning of that answer, didn't he? I hadn't heard him talk in a while. He looked a little bummed out at the beginning, and then he showed that incredible moxie that we've come to absolutely love about C.J. Stroud. The Chargers are a team that I think a lot of people think is dangerous. They're a tough team, and we talked to Coach Harbaugh. He said they need one more game, that final game, to get to their maximum toughness level that they need to be at for the playoffs. And they beat the hell out of the Raiders, and they continue to roll, and they're obviously momentum and everything is very high. Texans lose Azeez Al-Shaair, right, because of an altercation on the field. He hasn't been playing for the last 3 weeks. They haven't looked their best, even though they get a massive win over the Titans last week of the season. It's like if they were able to piece it together, they're a team. They've had some injuries, but Nico back is a huge deal. And then the Chargers, they're a hot football team. They are a hot football team, a physical team. They have everything you need to win in the playoffs. I'm excited about this one. Then Steelers-Ravens AFC North match up there. 9.5-point spread for Steelers-Ravens. And they know a lot about each other. Mike Tomlin took practice today from the practice facility down to the stadium. I can't wait to see on Hard Knocks next Tuesday, just like a great Hard Knocks episode last night. Congrats to NFL Films continuing to crush it on the inside in the season AFC North. There were some interesting situations as seasons came to an end for some teams with how they have to handle it behind the scenes. But it's like the Ravens, Steelers seemingly always close. Steelers defense, Tomlin, pretty good handle on how to play against this Baltimore Ravens team. You remember the record that Lamar had against the NFC was, like 29-1 or something like that?
Yeah.
I forget what it was. And that's because those NFC teams only see him like once every 5 years. They haven't had to face and feel Lamar Jackson. So I think, Lamar tries to not make a big deal of it, but if you look at it from a football standpoint, it's because they haven't had to prepare or play against somebody like Lamar Jackson, and all of a sudden you get on the field and it's like, holy shit, he's faster than I thought he was. Holy shit, they're more physical than I thought they were going to be. Holy shit, he can throw the ball better than I thought he was going to be able to do. And then once halftime comes, you're trying to make adjustments adjustments, and then you only got 2 quarters to try to catch up, and boom, you inevitably lose that game. Pittsburgh Steelers have had to play Lamar Jackson since jump 2 times a year. Mike Tomlin, defensive coach, feels like he has a good grasp on it. Let's head over to Hammer. Dahn. 9.5's a lot of points, Tone, but it sounds like you guys have no hope in the Steelers team anyways.
It's a ton of points, especially in this rivalry. To your point, I believe Lamar's 3-5 against the Steelers. Obviously got that win the night that we called Ohio State and Tennessee, and that was a 17-17 game. Obviously, Russ fumbles on the goal line going in and then throws a pick six to make it 24-17. That was basically all she wrote in that one. But these teams have basically been trending in 2 different directions. The Ravens are as hot can be, and the Steelers not so much. I've looked a bit.
We're not living in our fears, are we?
Yeah, he is.
I think we are. Not me living in my fears. But they haven't won a playoff game since the 2017 AFC Championship when they lost to the Patriots. They've lost 5 straight playoff games. To say they need this one is big. But I said the other day, like, if the roles were reversed, let's say the Ravens had lost 4 coming in and the Steelers were as hot as the Ravens were and all that stuff, I would not want to play the Ravens, to all your points, because these teams match up so well against each other. They play each other so much. 3rd time playing this season. It's not the game that I would want in the first round and super wild card weekend.
If you're the Ravens, you're saying, if the roles were reversed, you would not want this particular game?
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
It's good to be an underdog in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
9.5?
I think it's just
9.5 is a lot. 9.5 is a lot, but that one win, if you're an underdog and you go on the road and you win that first game, like, that can flip everything for you.
Yeah, momentum. You name it. I mean, you can. But think about the stories of last year. That Houston team getting a win was so surprising. Yeah. And I think it propelled into an offseason going like,
Super Bowl pick.
This is the team. If the Steelers beat the Ravens, not saying that's going to happen. I love the Ravens. The Ravens are expensive for us. We've had to donate $100,000 now to 2 different charities because a couple of the boys in our team are obviously absolute dogs. Did you know Mark Andrews has to check his blood sugar level after he comes off the field every single time?
Crazy.
Saw that today.
That was on Hard Knocks.
On Hard Knocks, yeah.
I mean, that's just an added thing into your life that you have to deal with and monitor every single day. So adding that, type 1 diabetes, no joke. I was very lucky that we got a chance to donate to that and also learn more about that entire disease.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got a way to beat it, but it's a lot. We got to monitor that whole thing. And then Kyle Van Noy having a career year right now. At this stage of it all, I love the Baltimore Ravens, but if the Steelers win this one, now all of a sudden, Russell Wilson contract conversation takes place. What's next year look like? We got to hang on. We just won a playoff game. They lose this game, it's going to be like, that didn't work. That's what Yinzer is going to be like. That didn't work.
Tomlin's got to go.
Trade his ass. Yeah, they're talking about trade him. Trade him out of here. We need to rebuild this entire thing. And it's a wild, because Gumpy and I are saying the same things to these Steelers fans. It's like, you're in the playoffs. Like, you should be pumped. And Steelers fans are like, we're always in the playoffs.
Yeah, they always do this.
We always are in the playoffs. We're always good. We're always grasping, never grabbing. You see? We're always taking reservation, never holding reservation. We're always close, but we're never going to be there, and it's very obvious, right, Nick? Is that not how you Steelers fans feel?
That is how a lot of people see it, and it's interesting because you look back at the beginning of the year, I don't think anyone had them. I don't think anyone projecting the Steelers to be in the playoffs this year, let alone 10-3 halfway through the season. So expectations changed once they got rolling, and then it became, oh, here we go again, same old thing. They're in this mode where they're trying to reload and retool, and they've got a young offensive line. They've got some guys on the defense that are getting older now, but the offense is younger and it's up and coming. They just need to find the quarterback to kind of bring everything together. Fields looked like that guy, really. Then they make the switch to Russ. He goes on a little bit of a run, and then these last 4 games have kind of just got everyone feeling the same old blues like they've had the past couple of years.
Yeah, and kind of the opposite. The other big spread is Bills-Broncos, where like the Broncos, Sean Payton, they've played all the good teams pretty close, almost beat the Chiefs.
And they feel hot.
And they feel like, they're kind of coming in, had to win to get in. It wasn't like they were screwing around, dismantle the Chiefs. And that, granted, that was not the Chiefs. That was a, second team for the most part across the board. But like that, if I'm the Bills, that's not really the team you'd want to play going into, at home. And granted, they got like a bye week last week, you could say. Most of their players sat out as well against the Patriots. But like, that's a team with the Broncos that could easily sneak up on you.
I am, now granted, I guess we got to watch how it all turns out and who plays what and how everybody plays. I am a huge believer in being hot going into the playoffs. Even that last game That last game, even if it means nothing. I am a huge believer, and that's just me as somebody that has to talk about these things every single day. I don't feel good about some teams, and I feel great about some teams. That might not mean shit whenever they end up playing each other, but there's like some teams I feel the Broncos are one of them, especially with what they just did to the Chiefs. And then you wonder about the Chiefs. It's like, are the Chiefs going to be okay? Like, you lose 38-0 or whatever, and it's like, are the Chiefs going to be okay? It's like, yeah, they're going to be A-okay. But right now in the moment, how you feel about teams is certainly a part of it as you try to project what the hell is going to happen. Buffalo Bills have been a wagon all year. We assume that'll continue.
No doubt.
We assume Josh Allen will somehow get faster over the break. We assume their defense will be able to get healthier. I assume that all these teams that did it the way, Philadelphia Eagles, I assume they're going to play great, even though they, didn't go for the record and everything like that. Some of their fans are very pissed off about that.
Yeah, understandably.
Tell me something, girl. The hell are we doing?
Not happy.
What would you have done?
It's a lose-lose.
I'm putting him out there.
Me too.
I'm
first half. Put him in the first half.
Try and get 100 in the first half and then shut it down, right?
Yeah, just to see if he could get it.
Yeah.
Just to see if he could get it. Because I think the offensive line won it too.
The O-line coach, more than anything, in my opinion, like that speaks volumes. Like Jeff Stoutland, he gets a ton of praise because of how good he's been for the last 10 years, but like that's a pretty cool thing. Hey, I coached the offensive line that broke the rushing record.
So in a lot of his yards, I think he's breaking a lot of other teams' franchise records in yards before contact.
Yeah.
I think he'd be third leading rusher, I think, this year with yards in the second half, right?
Yeah.
And then also I think yards before contact, I think he would be like top 5 or top 6 rusher
crazy
in the league right now. So the offensive line is obviously doing a phenomenal job. I say that I would do it. That is also as somebody who would never be a head coach of a team. And I understand where Sirianni had to make the decision where it's like, if we play Saquon, we got to play our offensive line. We got to play all our guys. If any of them get hurt and we lose, I'm going to
get this dumbass
crucified.
But
you can't live in your fears. This is once again living in your fears. But the reality is sometimes your fears become reality. Nightmares become today. And if Saquon or anybody got hurt, it would be Sirianni's the dumbest son of a bitch that has ever held a whistle, had a visor on, has ever been a head coach. But with that being said, you break that record, think about the vibes right now.
Yeah.
Think about the vibes right now for Philadelphia. You are on an all-time high. Instead of, I wanted to do it, I didn't want to do it. It's just like anything to keep vibes high, I think is what I would do. D-Butch, I think you're saying rest and not do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's running back. He's had, over 300 carries this year. Like, you get enough. What was their bye week? They had an early bye week, I think. So you kind of been humming along. Like, you get an extra bye week for your guys, O-line. Like, even, let's say Saquon made it out, but let's say you lose a Lane Johnson or one of those all-pro tackles. Like, I couldn't do it. You got to rest your guys.
It would be tough. It would certainly be tough. And we will continue this particular program on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, which I
have seen it on there.
Have forgotten to say, but is a massive deal. And then on TikTok Live, which I think is going to continue, which is good news. We will have our award season. The Trenchies will be given out, and the All Everything DB team will be announced. And before we get off ESPN, I have a question from Shane Gillis to Connor. UGA beat Texas twice. Why is Texas OSU the title game, dipshit?
I'm sorry. It's just, hey, look, we've seen it. And Ohio State right now is rolling, and to Shane Gillis, unfortunately, Notre Dame, they're just not what they used to be.
Hell yeah, Shane, get them.
And that's what he's saying. Yeah, we ain't. We're brand new.
They're better.
We'll continue on the internet. We'll see you tomorrow live from Miami. I almost forgot about that. We are going to be live in Miami tomorrow.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. What's the deal? I heard it's not hot.
60.
Perfect.
60? Oh, man.
Oh, my
60,
God.
That's
60 like
bullshit.
the high.
Dreaming about 60.
What are you talking about?
What?
Bullshit.
75 would be nice. 60s, whatever. We can go to fucking anywhere and get 60.
Not here.
Except for here.
Yeah,
but you get it. It's Miami. It should be 75.
No, this is like first day of spring. It's 55 degrees. Everybody's got the tops off. Everybody's having a good time. That's what it's going to feel like.
It is going to feel like it's 90.
Exactly.
So
Didn't it get down to the 50s, though, at night, right? Is what
Yeah, 50s, maybe high 40s.
Like Arizona.
That's not
I think I'm going down there full Cubano.
That's honestly the best way. Just a little button up, too.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going Cubano down there for the Orange Bowl. And I think you got to. Let me pay respects to the Dahn right here. Maybe I dress up like Pitbull.
That's
not
a great
idea.
idea.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, bald cap.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Get one of those, make it like super Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Done
And then
John
sunglasses.
Stamos did that, yeah.
Should
do that.
Will he be in attendance?
John Stamos?
Pitbull?
Oh, yeah. Pitbull.
He's
Pitbull's everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think he ever leaves that stadium anymore.
No, he's worldwide. Why?
Yeah.
Pitbull's awesome, man. I saw him perform at a private, like a charity event. That dude kills.
Ball.
Every song's a hit too. With it always every song has like another huge star with him, and it's always a hit.
Yeah, I think that's one of those concerts. What were those? The battles, music battles.
Verses?
The verses. There were some of those where names were mentioned, and you're like, that catalog ain't gonna be able to keep up with that catalog. And then the internet immediately goes, you remember this, you remember this. You're reminded of how many bangers somebody has. Pitbull, I think we all forget how many Pitbull's got. And then Flow Rida.
Oh.
I thought I saw Flow Rida the other night at the Raw premiere on Netflix.
Oh.
I was looking over, I'm like, is that fucking Flow Rida? And I was about to go over and be like, hey, thank you for everything you did. You brought some real heat into my life for a long time. But you're right, Pitbull, I think there's a lot of songs that Pitbull has that once he plays it, people be like, oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
And you got to do this.
It's another guy like that who flies in Ludacris.
Luda.
Yeah, like when people mention, like, oh, then you start going through that catalog and the bangers he had, like international bangers.
Great actor, too.
Because he's not Ludacris anymore. Yeah, he's Chris Bridges now.
Well, he started as DJ.
Always
Ludacris.
Yeah, I
Later in
agree.
Atlanta, they started making
he
his own
said
song.
that. He said, I'm not Ludacris anymore. I'm Chris Bridges.
Really?
I'm an
I didn't know
actor.
that.
I'm an actor.
There was a time there where I don't like that.
I don't love it.
Hey,
at all.
Luda.
That's a good name.
Come on, Luda. I agree. It's
Chris
a great name,
Bridges?
and he can do that. But we need to make sure Luda still exists, okay? Because Luda needs to come out every couple of years and make a banger. There was a while there where Atlanta had
Oh, yeah. Choco.
on everything.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that was good times back there. Outkast, I think, kind of kicked it off for the whole world. I know Atlanta people would probably tell me there's a lot more history before Outkast and everything like that. But I think Stankonia, and they were the ones that propelled it. And then all of a sudden, I thought I was from Atlanta for a while there. I mean, me, little John T.I., we're fucking getting after it. And then Jeezy comes in. It's like, oh my, I'm Atlanta. I think I'm from Atlanta. And then all of a sudden, Miami starts cooking. It was high school. Rick Ross came in every day. I mean, that was just took over the world. 50 out of New York.
Yep.
Get rich or die trying. Then he got this old white guy from Detroit coming in here. And then the West Coast obviously always had it. It was like, that was a fun time.
Great time.
That was a fun time to kind of come up through it all. Pitbull never got his respect in that entire conversation.
No. We're going to give it to him.
He's still bringing it too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. Award season on the other side. We got to get everything prepared. Set might look different on the other side.
Whoa.
Might not.
Good tease, though.
Might not. Might look the exact same. But no, we're handing out awards. And also, Foxy has his newest Foxy flick. Nice little documentary of our time up there in South Bend over to Columbus, Ohio. Behind the scenes a little bit of the college football playoff from our perspective. We'll be back on the other side of that. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life, like our friends at Dude Wipes. Take 5.
We're still bringing it.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff. And it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I try. I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some high.
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had. And it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, go Irish, be Hoosiers. They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go, man.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000
The Lord is watching you. Man down. Man down.
That's all right.
$1 million. And there's a bunch of that have been jaded. There's a lot of them. We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them. Okay. Google here.
The one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great. Why are the girls here?
Just not a fun show? No. Serious show? Serious football. Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe. In for a touchdown, Jesus, and everybody looking down. IU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you? No. No, it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by a million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own two. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fiction for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell, this guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking butt. We appreciate the hell out of you, AJ. There he is. He has once wiped 100 times. What? Wiped what? Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Cocktown. You were the mayor? Mayor of Cocktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Cocktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I heart cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Rocky Top, well, in that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten.
How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TV setups, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food.
Arctic temperatures. NJ Hawkins on two moments. Darius Butterfield, South Florida. Please fucking get for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we It is.
Hand off on the count. Travion Henderson in the open field. Travion Henderson is scoring. Another taunt for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Story of the game thus far as Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing
scramble, ball on the ground, check down,
Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or a chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now.
Will Howard,
one-on-one.
check, Jeremiah Smith, touchdown!
By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat.
Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell.
A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now.
As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Touchdown! Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open.
He's got left hand.
500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, AJ. You earned that, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Why? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Jeez, me, Sage going crazy. Welcome back to our Hum of the Boat, the Thunderdome. On this Award Wednesday, January 2025, Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is amazing. That's AJ Hawk. He's won a lot of awards, including Father of the Year and Dad of the Year.
That's right.
Nice, man. Congratulations, AJ. We're proud of you, buddy. That's something you should be incredibly proud of, alongside the College Football National Championship, the Super Bowl championship that you have. The talks at the table here, and they just win every day of life. At Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt, especially with that.
This empty can of ice-cold real American beer. Yeah, it was delicious.
I didn't know you put that down. You're a real American with that thing, huh?
Well, you got to be. I mean, this is a light beer brewed in the USA.
Because you are a real American, drinking on real American, got booed out of L.A. But if you drink the beer, you'll say it's great.
And it is great. It's pretty damn good.
Hulkster's got one.
Hulkster's got one. He did it.
I'm proud of you. Aren't we all kind of proud of Ty?
Absolutely. Only drank one.
That's right.
I'm not saying I wouldn't drink, 6 or 7 more, but I'm just saying I can stop at 1.
It's a Wednesday.
Exactly, and it's 2:10 p.m.
Now, you thought about cracking that thing open 9:30 a.m. I think that was a discussion.
I thought we were all going to because we all had, ice cold real American beers at our stations because D-Bone, was on the road until 3:30 a.m. last night, kind of driving around the entire Midwest trying to
Boozing?
find.
Oh.
No,
he wasn't boozing.
He wasn't.
He was driving for the booze.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was driving for
exactly.
the
So I thought we were all doing it. Will and behold, cracking open a beer at 9:30 a.m. on a Wednesday isn't exactly what you want to be doing.
I do think the response you thought you were going to get from the group was going to be different whenever you said, so are we drinking these right now? That's what you said.
I thought that was the plan.
And everybody just looked over. I think there was a lot of people who looked at their phones real quick. It's 9:30 time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a single light beer. It's basically like drinking a 12-ounce glass of water.
Well, and that's
same thing.
All right, maybe what are we talking about here? I'm not saying, hey, let's do a case race right now.
But that's what we thought it would turn into.
Yeah,
that is what we thought it would turn into,
A little willpower.
Because that is a real American beer.
Yeah.
And you certainly enjoyed it. I didn't know you made it disappear so quickly. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of 2025. What a year.
Unbelievable.
What a year.
Growing up.
That's an O's the Mentalist type move right there.
Truly.
That was magical that you just stopped that thing. Let's open up the water.
Pretty simple, Now, again, after the show, if there's a couple loose cans hanging around, I might find those. But no, during the show, we got a job to do.
Yeah, and you won't drink and drive. Obviously, somebody drive you home after you have a couple of real American beers, which everybody should do. I saw somebody just driving with a bottle right in between their legs the other night. I'm like, wow, 2025 is going back old school.
Yeah.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler.
Yes, sir.
D-Butch. We are, I'd say, 10 minutes away from you debuting your all-everything DB team.
Can't wait.
Highly anticipated.
Yes.
Highly regarded.
Yes.
High-pressure selections were made by you. Mm-hmm. Do you feel good about the Final Five, or are you trying to make a change maybe before we make this announcement?
Maybe a change.
No, I feel great. I feel great about Final Five. And look, there are plenty of great DBs littered around the National Football League, but only 5 can make it. And I'm proud of these guys. They did the hard work. I just had to watch tape.
All right, well, before we get to the
love what we did with the set too during the break.
Yeah, it's award season.
Great.
Yeah,
you kind of sense it, can't you?
Mix it up.
Look, we added a Bill.
Yep.
We added a Bill McComas to the set. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Hey, Bill.
Everybody wants to kind of come in and experience award season. Mm-hmm. Bill's absolutely jocked, by the way. He's been working out at a bodybuilding gym here in town.
That's right.
Just so everybody knows that.
I love that. It's nuts.
He's going to walk in here doing one of those peacock poses.
Oh, yeah.
One of those things. Yeah. He's like, what have you guys been doing in a Hawk House, boys?
Look at my back.
I've been in 24/7 gym, which is where he is actually going to. He's got 4 a.m. workouts with some of these dudes.
Bill's an absolute unit, so that does not surprise me.
Hell of a mustache right now.
Yeah.
Great mustache.
Strong.
Yeah, this is his face. This is how his face should be, we think, going forward. But the pants that he used to wear, I don't think he's going to be able to wear much longer. He's getting massive. He's getting very, very jocked.
Not skipping leg day either.
No.
Proud of you, Bill.
Carbo loading as well with his bucket of slop. It's back. Bucket of slop.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that when I was there. He walked by me after he heated it up. Yeah, I mean, Bill is all in.
Yeah.
This is Bill's life.
Farts that come with that, too.
These body, exactly. Yeah. And we have Dove now, but that ain't going to save from what's cooking inside of Bill's guts with what he's been eating. No. So he's obviously getting a diet, a nutrition plan from some of these bodybuilders, I think. So the bucket of slop that you're referring to is just like, I need this many milligrams of this, I need this many milligrams of this, and he just finds whatever. Chicken, fucking duck.
Yep.
Geese, probably.
You name it.
Did you see over there the pigeon that was plucked up and then taken into the... Did you see this?
I did not.
Where?
No.
What do you mean?
Did it make it in your algorithm?
Oh, yeah,
No.
I saw it.
Let's not be eating anything from any of the carts in New York City.
No way.
The what?
The cart, the bodega. Is that what they're called?
I love those places.
Me too. I actually get stuff from there.
Absolutely. I get gyros all day. Chicken. Oh, yeah.
It's not what you just
Hero,
said.
gyro,
It's
whatever
not,
you want
it's
to
not
call
what
it.
you just said.
No. What do you call it?
I call it pigeon because I think that's what it is. I think that's what not all of them, obviously.
Halal stand.
The who?
halal stand, HALAL.
Okay, so what are they giving out over there?
Like chicken on rice with white
But
sauce.
once again, it's not chicken.
So good.
Well, yeah, in this case, it appears that it was not chicken.
How many halal stands are there in New York City, you think?
Thousands.
Okay, so what I saw from that one, I shouldn't just assume is all of them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that seemed pretty natural for the guy, I will say.
It did. I don't know if he comes from another halal stand tree where they kind of are taught the ways of how to go about doing this. This guy walks right out of his little camper. Here, this one here. Yep, give me that.
Oh, come here, you little fucker.
Give me that. Good catch, by the way. Had to have great speed. Pigeons are an incredibly intelligent species, obviously.
Got to be fake. Got to be fake.
No, that's a daily catch, brother.
He walks right in there now. Now, that might be his meal. I don't know if it's everybody else's meal, but he's walking right in that thing. Yeah, so let's keep our eyes peeled, whenever we're doing whatever we're doing. But that showed up in my algorithm. I'm like, I don't want to see this.
No.
I want to go get a fucking pigeon and rice without knowing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fresh catch. I mean, he's basically fishing off the coast of Florida when you're thinking about it and you're getting fish, but in this case, it's chicken.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a reason why we eat yard bird instead of city bird, but there has to be some sort of conversation out there.
Yeah.
Diseases.
Who makes the rule what we can and can't eat?
Well, now I heard... Well, that's a whole nother conversation there, because that Fear Factor show really opened my eyes to what people were eating out there. I saw Joe Rogan, didn't know he'd become the most powerful person in the world.
Yeah.
One of them.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great host, I thought.
He was?
He was a great host in that particular show. And when they were like, this is a delicacy in country that I knew of and was like potentially going to travel to, it's like, wow, people eat some weird shit out there. There's some weird stuff out there. But they probably say shit we eat is very weird.
No, what? There's nothing weird in the U.S., right? I mean, the thing you're talking about,
raccoon.
Mm-hmm. Like all types.
Where are we eating that?
North Carolina.
The South. A lot of people in the South.
Yeah.
Really?
Xavier Leggett actually brought some in. It was like
I saw that.
It was like shredded. I didn't expect the shredded.
Good.
Either.
Didn't look bad. I did not expect it to be shredded, though. I think that was because it was like a ball. You kind of eat a blob here of raccoon. It's like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. And then his accent obviously makes it even better. I think it comes with the service. When you're eating at a restaurant, that type of thing kind of comes in there. So I assume there's people that think some of our stuff's weird. I do wonder about there it is. You want to talk about slop?
That looks like
doesn't look as good as doesn't look as good as the first time I saw it.
That is absolute shite.
RFK ain't letting that
Probably
happen.
cold
That looks delicious.
Who is that dude that used to travel around and do the food?
Adam Zimmerman.
Anthony Bourdain.
Zimmerman did the weird shit, though.
Yeah, he did the records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was Adam Richmond.
Okay, shout out to Adam Richmond, Man vs. Food. Is him. The Adam who?
Zimmerman.
Andrew Zimmerman.
Oh, bald-headed guy, kind of rounded.
Yeah, and he'd do like eat the really weird shit everywhere.
Yeah, he had a nice, really shined up bald-ass head, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I saw him. He also dressed kind of nice, didn't he, right? Bourdain is the guy that I remember watching going and just trying whatever from wherever.
Mm-hmm.
He was in there. What a life.
Cooking.
Yeah.
What a life Bourdain lived.
Crazy.
How about the places that don't eat pizza? What the fuck?
That's just dumb.
What do they do?
They don't eat it. People don't, there's places that don't even have it, don't know about it.
I would assume these places that are eating like pig intestines, cow intestines and stuff have never heard of pizza, because if you can choose one or the other, you're probably going, this one.
People eat everything. I mean, people eat things that we have as pets in other parts of the world.
They might have a pizza pig. That just tastes like pizza.
Never heard of that.
Pig intestines that might just, it tastes like mozz and tomatoes.
Those are chitlins.
Chitlins?
Yeah. I've never eaten them, but I know
How about Rocky Mountain oysters? You ever have those?
Bull's testicles.
Yo.
Those are balls.
Never. What's the weirdest shit you eat?
Big balls.
I don't know. I'm not the big I'll do it guy whenever it comes to the food stuff. Like if I was on Fear Factor, water and food would have been the one that would have got me.
Gotcha.
Everything else I would have been able to get through. Water I can't fuck with. Water is an Achilles heel of mine. I don't love being in water. I like looking at water. I don't love being in water. Never really have. Like obviously learned how to swim and all that shit. I can swim. But just what water can do to you so quickly, I am not about it. I
love water. I love being underwater.
Love water.
This guy will fucking live in the water.
I just stay.
I'm saying.
I just stay.
So I stay on beach.
Okay.
He stays in water.
Yeah. I'll
if
go
we
rent a
anywhere-
life jacket just to float.
We are looking at each other from about 50 yards away. He's in there, hawking drinks, to guy. And I'm like, I'm not even going in, let alone the ocean. Like, who knows what is in there? Is there a lot of ocean like the locals down there, you guys that live in South Florida still go beach and ocean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Regular basis.
I mean, if you're down there, you don't go as much. Like growing up, we didn't go as much, but it's great to do. Like for the family, nice day. Go there in the morning. My daughters love seeing like the sunset. Sunrise. So we'll go there early morning to see the sunrise. But getting out on a boat or a yacht, it definitely depends on the vibe, what's going on. But I'll jump out in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, so you're on yacht. I do yacht too.
Good time.
I think I've only one time done the yacht. Good time.
Great time.
Great time. Had to take my shoes off as I got in there. I was like, wow, we're doing real nice shit out here in the middle of the water. Never thought about jumping off yacht though. Watched others. Wow, good for you.
Jump off the roof. Hopefully you got a roof. You can do like a backflip off the roof or something.
Jackknife.
We had some people boozed up that didn't mean
Gainer.
to do the flips that they were. Yeah, I did see an attempt at a gainer, and that was just a back.
Yeah.
Back bump.
That was just a back bump from high speed, and it was like, yeah, you crushed it. Yeah.
That hurts.
And I'm just sitting right here. So I don't fuck with the water. The food thing, too, I don't think I really dabbled. I was trying to figure it out. In Japan, we ate something. I assume we ate something.
Snake.
I don't like texture stuff. I don't like weird, mushy, gooey, weird things that people try.
Did you dog?
Like uni.
What?
I wasn't sure in Japan.
I'm not eating any dogs.
No, I know, but sometimes they come out and the translation gets lost, and then the shape of the plate's a dog.
They actually put the meat in the shape of the animal?
It happened to me. It happened to my dad, okay? It was.
Your dad got a dog in the shape of a dog?
I forget if it was a dog or if it was something egregious. I'll tell you that much. It might have been dog, actually.
Japan, there's a place that eats very differently than we do. And their language is so different. Like, so different.
Yeah.
Nowhere near our language.
The countries in Asia, like even watching Squid Game, because Squid Game, I think, is Korean.
Yeah, what you think of that?
Season 2, awesome. And if the third season wasn't coming out this year, I would have been much more pissed off about it.
That it was only 7 shows.
Yes, that it was only 7 episodes, because I would have said that they kind of fucked everybody with how the whole season went. But since the next season's supposed to come out pretty soon here, I think it was great.
I appreciate them saying, hey, we're going to make a real show, script, movie thing, not just games, for the first couple episodes.
Appreciate that.
Oh, we did a little bit too much of that. Let's get back to the fucking bread and butter.
I agree.
Get back to it.
100%
But they
agree.
did.
They got all the awards for writing and movie and creating and everything like that. And I think they took that to heart and were like, we got to do that. We got to really do that. And it was tough to get through that first. I'm going to be honest. It was tough to get through that first one. And then if you did, it got good. I think it got really good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I think the second season got really good. But I think they really tested a lot of people the first for no reason. Didn't need to do it.
Agree.
You're one of the guys.
Yeah, we talked about it. I was three episodes in. I was about, when's the next 7 coming out?
Yeah, but now, exactly. Now, when you finish the second season, it's like, okay, the third season is going to be nuts, because the way it starts, there's none of that bullshit. And then there will be an ending, and, who knows how it will end.
Squid Game's number 2 show on Netflix currently. Congratulations. Squid Game's had a massive success.
All right. What's one?
Monday Night Raw.
Boom.
Really?
Oh.
I opened it up last night because the wife and I are watching Squid Game season 2. It opens up on the screen, and then you just go down, on the home screen. It's top shows. Monday Night Raw was there. I thought to myself, that's fucking cool. That is a very cool thing to be a part of. I took like a small bit of pride being like, man, it's cool to be a part of that. Like, it is very cool to be a part of that. And then Michael Cole and I chit-chatted yesterday just talking about how stupid it was to be a part of that. Like, what an honor. Like, what a huge, huge deal for the business as a whole and for the WWE. And then I turned on Netflix and I'm like, good for fucking the WWE. They do it right. Their business. The people that work. Yeah, and then this. Yeah. Absolutely insane. Michael Cole, obviously, GOAT. When it comes to what his job is, if he was to have to describe it to somebody, and I think, Joe Tessitore came in, did Monday Night Raw from, being a high level commentator, analyst, and, highly educated and experienced. He's done a much better job than a lot of other people that have come in there and tried to do it, because when you have to explain what the job is, it's like, yeah, you're calling action, massive piece of it. See also, there's actually billions in dollars of stories that need to be told throughout the entirety of it all. Need it to happen. Need this to go like this. Need people to think this. Need to not see this. Need to mention this. Need to acknowledge this. Need to throw back to this from 5 years ago and know that it happened. Know why this is happening. It's like there's so much to it as opposed to just being a play-by-play, which is very difficult in its own right. Like, it is a very difficult task. So Michael Cole has been able to do it for 28 years. He's missed 3 shows. Okay?
Crazy.
Dog, war reporter for CBS, was in Bosnia, was the first person to talk to David Koresh whenever that entire thing was happening down there in Waco. He was the first interview when he was working at CBS. And then he leaves that and goes into Monday Night Raw. This is him going into Bosnia, or coming out of Bosnia, I think, if I recall, whenever he was, the Bosnian War was over there. Then there was, because I think he got held.
Going in, because he's smiling.
Yeah, because they got held over there. They weren't allowed to leave.
Star Wars guy next to him?
I don't think that's George Lucas.
Oh, to the
That's
right?
how he got his idea for the movies, actually, talking to Cole.
Yeah, Michael Cole gave it to him. So when you talk about one of the most legendary lives of all time, Michael Cole is an absolute G. So it's an honor to get to work with him, first of all, but also the entire WWE and the fact that they put me on a truck. They didn't put me on a truck. They put Michael Cole in a truck. And then I just happened to get snuck on there. That's an honor. You walk up and see that, it's like, man, this is the luckiest and dumbest life of all time. And I do, it's very corny to say it, but it's like, if I could go back and talk to a younger Pat and just be like, hey, it's all going to work out, dude. Like, better than you could have ever imagined. And then say that that's going to take place and then this is going to take place. Like, it's like, I'm so lucky to be a part of it all and thankful. And with that being said, it's time to debut the two biggest awards that you can win in all of professional sport.
Amen.
We will start with the big guys. All year we went in the trenches and we ranked the top 5 offensive lines off their performances from the weekend before. And that was obviously a smashing success in the trenches, and we love doing it. And it was nice to shine a light on the big fatsos that are moving bodies around so that their offense can be efficient and successful. And if you paid attention to that particular segment all year, you could kind of tell who was going to be around and who was going to be the team that could potentially go and win a Super Bowl. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just the top 5 offensive lines of the entire season that's going to be named. Also, the best tackle, best guard, and best center of the 2024-2025 season will be named in this edition of The Trenchies.
Hell yeah.
Our host is also the man that's on top of the trophy that will not be delivered. It'll be a, what were those things called that everybody was just giving away?
NFT?
NFT.
NFT.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody that wins a Trenchie will win an
Those are cool.
NFT of this particular trophy. Remember, you cannot share the NFT. You cannot screenshot the NFT because then everybody else will have it.
Yep.
NFTs only work if you're the only one that has the picture. And on the internet, that's going to be tough to do, but that's why this NFT is so damn special. You can't just screenshot this one.
No.
This is one that's going to get emailed or texted directly to you from your host and the man that's on top of that trophy, AQ Shipley.
Looks like a damn Greek god on top of that trophy.
Yeah, certainly. Eating a lot of Greek yogurt.
I was lobbying to shrink that belly. I know you can edit a lot of things, but
What are you talking about?
What?
that belly, look at that thing.
Make
Looks
it bigger,
great.
man.
Look great, bro.
That's a monster belly.
It's the Trenchies. First, we'll do a couple individual awards, although I know that offensive linemen do not like that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
First, the best guard of the 2024-2025 season. The Trenchie goes to
Trey Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Could have went to his brethren on the other side, Mr. Tooney, but he moved out the tackle a little bit. Trey Smith is an absolute dog. Let's take a look at this. I pulled one clip just to show how ferocious he is. Look at this deuce. Boom! On Fred Warner. Puts his ass on the ground. That's the best you are going to see. This dude plays the game the way you're supposed to at guard. Physical. Can opener. Puts Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker, on the ground all the time. This is the way he plays. Physical dog.
Congratulations, Trey Smith, the best guard in the NFL, the Trenchie Award winner.
Wow.
We will send you an NFT of that particular trophy. You can't share it with anybody, then it's not worth a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever forget that, Trey. Now let's
Congrats,
go
Trey.
to the top center, which we know is very close to your heart. Who is the top center of the 2024-2025 season? The Trenchie goes to...
Big congrats to Mr. Frank Ragnow of the Detroit Lions.
Wow! Yeah. Lions are already winning things.
Let's go. Listen, I love this guy. I've loved this guy since he came out. First round pick out of Arkansas, but he also plays the game the way you're supposed to. When you look at that left arm right there, why does he have that sleeve on his left arm? Because he tore his fucking pec. Guy tore his pec Came back a week later, continues to play. Look at him reach this guy. Little combo block up. That you don't see reach blocks like that in the NFL. And, oh, by the way, his running back's just going to take it 70 yards for a touchdown right off his ass.
Wow.
See you later.
Congratulations, Frank Ragnow. Wow. We'll send you an NFT.
Unbelievable year. Should be first-team All-Pro center, hands down.
Okay.
Not PFF's All-Pro.
Whoa.
Oh, easy.
What?
The actual All-Pro.
Whoa. We're giving out awards.
man.
It's a positive. It's a celebration.
This is a celebration.
Sounds like AQ doesn't think that the PFF people know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to offensive line play.
That's right. That's where I was going with that.
You don't know what the job is. How do you know what my job is to do? You're
That's
gonna
where I
rate
was
me?
going.
That's the thing that you say?
That's exactly where I was going. When D-Butt sent it to me yesterday, I just what the fuck is this?
Listen, I think PFF does a lot of great things for the sport. I think they give a lot of analytics and stats, and I think they help out a lot of people whenever it comes to being football fans. But there are some jobs that are tough to predict and call what they are. Happens in the secondary a lot.
Blind spots. A lot of blind spots.
Offensive line could be potentially difficult because you have no idea who's supposed to get to where.
No
I think they try to judge it off of things that they know are going to be the fundamental sound. How do you go about doing what you do? But I think the players who potentially get rated pretty low on that and get that held against them in negotiations and potentially get, not picked up on teams because of it, say that you have no fucking idea what my job is, right?
That's accurate. Very accurate. That's exactly what I was saying.
I mean, when those guys come up on Sunday Night Football and they do their intro and it's like 127 out of 128, it's like,
and he's making $14 million a year.
Yeah,
you can't help. You can't help but think that AQ walks into a game. Okay, it's like his 10th year, and he's getting a start, and he's got that headshot thing, and right at the bottom he goes, not ranked out of 130. It's like this guy, you've made an enemy with this guy now forever. That's what you're experiencing. That's what we're experiencing right now. That's why the trenchies mean so much to him.
Exactly.
That's right.
Because he's watched every single snap. He wants to make sure the right guys are getting rewarded. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the highest paid position on the offensive line. Who was the top tackle, doesn't have to be left, just top tackle of the 2024-2025 NFL season? The Trenchy goes to
Lane Johnson of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow!
On the right side.
Congrats, Lane. Congrats, Lane.
Lane had an incredible year. He's literally playing out of his mind for one of the best offensive lines in football. Let's watch how he just throws this three-tech across three gaps. Watch. Boom! Climbs on a linebacker. And then you got Saquon downhill, 2,000-yard rusher, 20-yard gain. But it all starts with number 65. He always has his hand up. There were 70-yard runs, 70-yard runs, 70-yard runs, 65-yard runs. Everything that the Philadelphia Eagles had, it all starts with number 65, whether they're running counter away or zone 2.
Congratulations on the Trenchy, Lane.
That's awesome.
Put this NFT up on the refrigerator.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Print it out. They don't make a lot of these. You got to earn them. Congrats to Lane Johnson, who, the big topic of conversation around him is he's always offsides.
Guys jumping early all the time.
That's all they talk about.
Smartest lineman in football.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Amen. And I think that's a big part of the offensive line world if we've paid attention to in the trenches at all. That's all anybody talks about is his get off. Nobody talks about everything else, like fundamentally sound, absolutely perfect, freak show athletically, dog buy-in to the team, always there, and his ability to get down and dirty. You're not scared to do it. They do the goddamn tush push, There's a tackle that has to, he's not even in the main focal point, still has to get down, do the whole song and fucking dance, because that's what our team does, and he does it willingly. What a great representative of Philadelphia, I think Eagles fans would say, and what a win of a Trenchy by Lane Johnson.
I know, incredible.
He's done a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a year. Hell of a career.
Super Bowl champion.
It's been a
hell of a year.
You know Parker McCall?
Yeah, I do.
No, it's on.
He's had a hell of a year. He's growing his hair out a little bit. You see that?
Yeah, it looks good.
Got some flow.
Looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah.
Because he's
I
like,
could grow hair.
no, you got a good goatee.
You can grow hair.
You got a goatee. You can get one of them surgeries, Hair Jordan.
No, too much work.
I don't think you do anything.
It's no work.
But boy, do I wish I had that. I wish I had that little flow out the back
Wish
of
we
the
could
hat.
trade.
Get a toupee.
That would be so sick.
Yeah.
What if I just have a toupee next
AJ Hawk's toupee.
Well, you got to grow out the sides. You got to grow out the sides a little
I
bit.
can do that.
Boom, and then toupee on top.
Yep.
Put a rug up there. Oh, my God.
Please.
You know how many trenches you would win if you had a rug?
How many?
Oh, all of them.
Every fashion word possible.
How many NFTs would we send him if he did that?
As many as he needed.
Countless.
How about this? We know it's a big deal to you. We will change the top of the trophy. if you put a rug up there, a little cap on, we will change the top of that.
Perfect.
These trenches are a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Huge.
Let's go to the top 5 offensive lines of the 2024-25 NFL season. The trenches go to
number 5, the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
And
Congratulations to the Buffalo Bills.
I went back through the whole season. What I tried to do is just find a play that embodies exactly who this team is and every team in this list. And so why I picked this play, let's take a look at number 70, Alec Anderson. They go big offensive line personnel more than anybody else except for the Detroit Lions with Skip, right? And so whenever number 70's in the game, they're running the ball. They're going to run a fullback zone to the left. Fullback and number 70, Alec, are going to work together. We get the big stretch. Center does a nice job getting the cutoff. Boom. And then you'll see. Mr. Cook. See ya. Untouched, basically.
Please, Connor.
To the house.
Yeah, why'd they fire him out?
Why'd they fire him? There you go.
Hold on. How about this? Can we talk about a couple things? Also, a guy that I assume was up for best tackle of the year, Trenchy.
Yep.
This dude right here. Look at the space that he's given up in between here. Just absolutely on an island. Then he's head up on the guy, right? So this is like strategy by him, right? That's what Dawkins is doing.
There's no doubt. Deion Dawkins is going to be an all-pro this year. Had an unbelievable season. He's incredible. Was up for it. Lane's just head and shoulders above everybody at this point.
And Deion's smart and physical. And that Buffalo Bills offensive line is top five on this year's Trenchies. Congratulations to the top 5 O-line
And
Buffalo
Deion,
Bills.
egregiously is on the line of scrimmage. He's not sitting back like we were just talking about. He's one of those guys early in the year where he looked like he was fucking with the refs.
almost making a mockery.
Yeah, making a mockery of it. Bingo. He was head-to-head with the center.
Yeah, everybody says you need a lot of space. How about this? I'll line up behind you, and then I will get in. I'll be so athletic, I'll be able to get around. And that Buffalo Bills offensive line has led to some magical things. Josh Allen up over 40 touchdowns yet again, potential MVP season. I think a lot of people were thinking that offensive line, after you lose all the weapons, have to show up. They did all year.
They did. Fewest sacks allowed as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the number 4 performing offensive line. The Trenchy goes to
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. Congrats to Tampa Bay, number 4.
Yeah, if you'll notice, all 5 of these teams are playoff teams, and that is because this offensive line on every one of these teams makes this unit go. Let's take a look. We motion the back into the backfield. Now we're going to go jet motion away. Eye candy. Now we're going to send the back on the right to the left, and then we're going to pull the guard and the tackle the other way. Bredesen, kick out. Tristan Wirfs up on number 40. Tight end, great job. See you later, boys.
Wow.
See you later.
That's what you're talking about. What were they last year ranked in rush offense?
They've been bottom 5 in rushing for each of the last 7 or 8 years. And then magically this year, new offensive coordinator, new scheme, pretty much same group. Obviously, they drafted the center in the first round, but literally went from bottom 5 to top 5.
Bucky also.
Yes. Great running back.
Bucky's a dog.
Yeah, he is really good. Bucky for the Buccaneers.
And this is Rashad White right here.
Great player for a long time down there at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Congrats to them. Top 4 offensive line in the NFL this past season, and as the season continues. Let's go to the number 3 offensive line. The Trenchy goes to
the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow. Congrats to the Ravens.
Yeah,
Love everything
great year.
about that.
Great year. It also helps that they got Derrick Henry. But listen, let's go to one of Coach Monken's favorite calls of the year, Baldy's favorite play.
Oh, hell
the old triple trap, double scoop. And here we go.
You're talking about Baldy from Late Night with Kelsey? They call it Late Night Kelsey?
Late Night with Baldy.
Is Baldinger on there?
Baldy was on there. One of the first guests.
And Philadelphia legend.
That's what I'm saying. I was pumped to see Baldy get a little rub like that.
Hell yeah.
One of the
Baldy's breakdowns.
He loves Dickie.
He loves the old triple trap.
Charles
double scoop.
Barkley.
That's right. You get both guards.
You didn't watch.
I didn't watch it past my bedtime. I got too many kids.
No, it's on ESPN Plus.
You live on the West Coast.
Oh, I can watch it on replay?
Yeah, that thing would have been at 10 o'clock your time.
That's past my bedtime.
Yeah, amen. Me too. But brother, it's worth a watch. And Baldy, shout out to him getting some love, nationally for the first. I'm not saying first time. Obviously, people know him, but he deserves.
Yeah.
He loves offensive line play.
Yes, he
does.
Love watching those breakdowns just like yours, but he loves this particular play, eh, Cush?
He loves it. You get the old triple trap, double scoop, 2 guards influencing behind. You get the wham from Ricard, and then you get center, right tackle. You get Andrews up on the old scoop as well. Get him up on the 3rd level. Boom. See you later.
Untouched.
There's bodies everywhere.
That's an 87-yard touchdown run, ladies and gents.
First play of the game.
I mean, it's going to be hard
for the Ravens.
It's going to be hard not to I can't put arrows on everybody because I think these two are going this way. They're going this way. He's coming this way, right?
That's right.
And then they're going that way.
That's right.
Holy hell. How much coordination does that take? That takes a lot of choreography almost to make sure everybody's on the same page. How do you not trip all over each other?
This literally has become the play of the year. Everybody has copied this play, and everybody loves it. It used to be just a regular wham. It was basically zone. Two people, basically right guard, right tackle would avoid the three tech, and then you get the wham. And now we get all this influence stuff. Look what it does to the three tech. Look what it does to the backside nose. Look what it does to look what it does to the linebackers. Nobody knows where the fuck the ball's going. And then boom, we just hit Derrick Henry, the best back of this era, right downhill in the B gap for 87 yards.
I like that you save that because Saquon's having such a big year. He had to drop into of this era. That's good TV stuff out of you. Congrats to the Ravens. Top 3 offensive line of the 24-25 NFL season. The number 2 offensive line winning a Trenchy is
the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
I got one.
Congratulations. What a big win.
Huge.
What a big win.
Big win for the Detroit Lions.
Frank Ragnow leading the team.
Yeah.
Best center of the year, the Trenchy Award winner, Frank Ragnow. Let's go to the Lions doing what they do.
Yeah, again, I tried to show something that embodies this group. And what is the biggest thing we talk about all year? Obviously, the offensive line, but Ben Johnson. 4th and 1 against the Buccaneers early in the year. We line up, and they all were in different spots. They literally reversed the triangle. This guy goes there. This guy goes to the backfield. This guy goes there. And on 4th and 1 in a big moment when you need a first down, guess what you do? You run the old triple option sweep to the left. Ben Johnson disguising people, getting them out of the huddle early and often, switching people right before the snap. And then you get boom, you get St. Brown in the backfield as a decoy going this way, and then you get Gibbs going around.
Did that end up being a 22 personnel right there? Is that what that is?
Brock Wright and Laporta, there's 20. And then it's 21 personnel. Is there another back? Because that's a receiver.
So he counts as receiver there?
Correct.
Because he's up on the line.
Correct.
Got it. So running power in there.
That's it. Yep.
Wing T type shit here.
Wing T type stuff, yep.
Dude, that's awesome.
Pretty cool stuff.
How about the Detroit Lions?
Unreal.
Yeah, AQ, I love that you showed that play because you cannot run this offense without that offensive line. The amount of times I've come to you on a Wednesday and I said the reason this team goes, the reason Goff is good, Gibbs is good, and the receivers get open is because he has so much time. It's the O-line.
Okay,
That's right.
Let's go to the number 1 team, offensive line.
Yeah, through the first 12 weeks, it would have been the Detroit Lions. I think over the last 5, this group overtook them. You got the Philadelphia Eagles as the number 1 offensive line of the year.
Philly.
Hey, you don't have the rushing record, but you do have the Trenchy.
Exactly.
As being the number 1 offensive line in the NFL this season, and they've been fun to watch. Obviously, they got the number 1 tackle, the Trenchy Award winner, and Lane Johnson.
That's right.
But their running back is also unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Why is that? Well, he and this offensive line are on the same page all the time.
That's right. And I also, again, another reason why I picked this play. Going into the season, Jason Kelsey gone. Can they be the same offensive line unit? Cam Jurgens made the Pro Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure if you guys know that.
Wow.
Cam Jurgens made the Pro Bowl at center. So they just picked up right where they left off, and I think we all remember this play. Dip and scoop on the nose. Boom! Throw his ass out the club. Look at him. Talk your shit. Keep it moving. And then guess what's going to happen? We're going to walk a little bit. We got nothing to do. And then we turn around. Oh, shit. This is about to go for a touchdown. Oh, let's put him on the ground again. Boom!
Jeez.
Twice.
Does that count as 2 pancakes there? It counts as 2 knockdowns?
Oh, yeah.
Double stack.
Double stack.
That is. A couple flapjacks. This is D-Bone special. You want Dr. Pepper on top of that thing?
Some sausage.
Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Trenchy for the best offensive line in the entire NFL. Here's your top 5, ladies and gentlemen, from the Trenchies of 2024-2025.
Wow.
8 times in the top 5, the Philadelphia Eagles. 9 times the Detroit Lions. And once again, AQ said first 12 weeks would have been able to make it. 8 times for the Baltimore Ravens. And then obviously a little bit of a drop-off, 5 times and 4 times for number 4 and number 5. Foxy gave a little look-see there after the numbers were revealed here on how many times they're in the top 5 and said, what do we do?
Yeah, AQ, I don't love what you did here. It was definitely the Detroit Lions all season long. But you know what? Playoffs, NFC Championship, Lions, Eagles, we're going to find out how that's going to go down.
Well, Foxy, I don't know if you should be questioning anything because it's not you that's on top of this particular Trenchy. It's that man.
Bingo.
Right there.
Hell yeah.
Love everything he's doing here.
So wait, all 5 teams get a Trenchy?
Yeah, an NFT.
Just the number one team gets a Trenchy. What is this? A handout award or?
No, just top 5. Top 5. They get a.
They each get, or just number one?
Well, the number one team gets this one. This is what the number one team actually gets. This one.
Oh, okay.
So it is a little bit. It is a little bit different. This is
Shrek 2.
This is what the number one offensive line will be getting. And congrats also to
like Kevin Green,
Frank Ragnow, Trey Smith, and Lane Johnson, because you were number ones. You will get this particular, rest in peace, KG, by the way, K to the G. You will get this particular NFT. 2 through 5 will get the bald Trenchy. Okay, get this one. 2 through 5 will get this particular NFT Trenchy. The number ones will get this particular NFT Trenchy. So there is a difference. It's not everybody getting awards. And as we wrap up the Trenchies here, let's go to our correspondent in Ohio, AJ Hawk. What do you think about the Trenchies? Who got screwed in the entire thing, and did he get it right with the Trenchies this year?
Yeah, I think AQ did get it right. I mean, I would say out of AQ and Baldy are the two the two people you go to if you want to know about O-line play, right? In America, I think.
Jeff Saturday does the pancakes, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think Baldy and AQ should break down offensive line play more. I think that is kind of. I don't think Jeff does a lot of break. Jeff is a head coach.
Yeah,
Jeff. So Jeff does a lot of all together. And I'm not saying AQ couldn't be a head coach or Baldy, but they're breaking down. I think offensive line play fundamentals, techniques, strategies, plays much more. Yes, AJ.
Yeah, I think O-line play is true. Most people have no idea what a good, especially like as a whole, what O-lines are good. They'll look at stats and say, how many sacks have they given up? Can they run the ball? And then they'll make a determination whether you're good or not. So I appreciate AQ. AQ's doing a service to everybody as football fans, especially casual football fans, letting us know that this is where games are won and lost.
Thank you, AQ.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah. Thank you, AQ.
I have a question.
You guys.
Let's go to Hammer. Dahn.
Can the 32nd team, can you pop up the top of the statue real quick?
Which one?
With or without hair, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Can the 32nd ranked team get one just like that, but AQ's dong is hanging out like the guy on the edge of the bed?
The COVID guy.
The Patriots O-line would love one of those.
I'll tell you what.
You guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The COVID dong guy.
They put that guy's hammer on one of them drones.
Yeah,
they got me.
Yeah.
I've been able to steer clear away from that guy's dong for a lot of things. I'll get texted something, dude. Check this out.
Breaking.
Not doing it.
Yep.
Hey, have you seen this? A lot of those. No, and I don't care. Even an algorithm will try to sneak one onto my feed. I'll be scrolling. Oh no, and then I'm like, nope. I know there's a dong there. Okay, they got me. The drone one just a few weeks ago, they're like, holy shit, we got a good clean image. I'm like, I won't fucking see it.
Yeah, you zoom in.
They got me.
Son of a bitch.
It's true.
They got me.
It's so
Yeah, I do believe the big hammer guy is no longer with us, so rest in peace to him, and thank you for your meat being a part of a trolling thing on the internet that's never going to die.
Never
going to die, and they got me. I'll tell you, I was fucking disappointed.
So pissed.
I mean, it was good to see. It was good to see. It's like, holy fuck, Like, this guy's dong is gigantic.
It is.
But
immortal.
Then, forever. Yeah. But I was like, I got there. You got to be better. You got to be better on the internet. They do that. But they'll sneak that guy's dick into anything. And it is unbelievable. You got to really watch it.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Somebody tried to get me on Christmas.
Oh, Jesus.
Who, Urlacher?
Merry... I assume Urlacher. With that fucking snake thing he does
got so many people
on the golf course, where he just fucking attaches it to somebody.
He loves that.
And it chases, and he's, Urlacher's what a weapon Urlacher is. His kid's going to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's there, right? He's there, right?
I think he might be, actually.
Is Urlacher going to be at the game?
Potentially.
We should talk to Urlacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We should try to talk to Urlacher. We know he's going to be busy.
Yep. A lot of D's nuts jokes.
Yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah. Take a look.
Oh, yeah. Remember he sent me a DM. You remember? It was either a DM or
a text message, I think.
A text message. He tried to get me, and I go,
you ever play with D?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I responded with, I don't think so. He goes, I'm going to get you, fucker, or something like that. Like immediately afterwards, it's like, come on. Those D's nuts runs,
so good.
Unbelievable. Somebody in the Colts, I'm not going to say who it was, they executed like a full emergency type situation. Need to get somebody on the phone to answer like a full-on. It was like an orchestrated 15 people to get one person to get D's nutted, and it was one of the most ridiculous and absurd, hilarious things I've ever watched, because I was just happened to be a spectator. It was in the training room. So I'm just sitting there on the table. Then there's like an alarm might have went off in the building, and then all of a sudden phone rings. And then it's like, need to answer the phone. It's who? Scream from the other side of the room. D who? Somebody who was important. I think it might have been Hambone, actually, that they were trying to get this entire thing. He just retired. He's been around forever. It was like full panic in this entire thing. And then there was like 10 people who were like, D's nuts, bitch! And it was like a full on. And I was sitting there like, how long were you guys planning? Because you had to get an alarm to go off and then a phone to ring, and then like actual panic had to look like it was happening to kind of let a guy's guard down for a second, and then it was screamed across the room, D's nuts, you fucking. That was like, oh my God.
Allegedly, I don't know if you saw this on the internet. I forget who said it. It was one of Sabin's former players, but allegedly Sabin is a huge D's nuts guy.
Really?
Yeah, we should try and get
Oh my God. Game day tomorrow is going to be so.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It might have been Terrion Arnold. I forget who it was exactly, though, but allegedly Sabin, massive D's nuts guy.
Right,
Him getting people.
So I'm not going to finish it on game day, because there's no reason to do it. But as soon as, if we hear a D who tomorrow.
Well, is he on the program tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Nobody tell him. He doesn't know.
He won't know.
He's not
No
listening
way,
to this.
yeah.
Nobody tell him. Nobody will. He don't really talk to anybody, I don't think.
Yeah, just when you were coaching D, like what was his biggest?
Well, he did coach D. Milner, who was drafted in the first round as a cornerback. So
So he might just go off on D. Milner.
Yeah. But boom.
I'm worried that we said this already, and he's going to have his guard up.
No chance. He's not seeing this. Josh Jacobs, he just told me in my ear. Josh Jacobs is the one that said.
Should we try to get him right now? Should we?
No. We should save it for tomorrow.
Yeah, but somebody's going to tell him.
Nobody's going to tell him.
Somebody's watching right now telling somebody who's telling somebody who's telling them.
Well,
if Miss Terry might tell him.
I think we need to do it right now. What's that?
Miss Terry might tell him.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's going to get it to Miss Terry might be watching it at this moment, or daughter Kristen or somebody.
Should we FaceTime him then?
That's what I'm saying. I think we should maybe. But he normally does Zoom, but I have his. I don't think that was the time. I don't think
No one tell him.
I don't think we should cold call D's nuts Nick Saban.
I mean, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot, I think.
Whatever you just go, you got me, fucker.
I'm not going to use my first FaceTime to Nick
In
Saban.
person would be a lot better.
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody tell him.
Nobody tell him.
Yeah. If you're watching and you could tell him or tell him through somebody, don't tell him, please.
Oh, my gosh. D-Bone has updated the graphic, I guess, but we do not need to put that on here.
Are you sure? We should definitely put it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
pretty good,
award season rolls on. Okay.
Maybe just the back wall so you guys can see it.
Thanks for your quick work, D-Bone. Really appreciate it.
Take a picture of his own dog. Yeah, what the hell?
Fastest that guy's ever got something done. Incredible.
You're saying the guy went to work.
T-Bone just take a dick pic.
We don't need that. We're not.
How do I get that?
It ain't happened, bud.
How do I get that thing?
That's why that guy is going to trend forever, pal. All right. Award season rolls on.
Oh, man.
Congrats to that guy for having that.
Yeah.
You want a trenchy?
Yeah, I need that.
No. All right. He's so flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Holy man, could you imagine if that's what my trophy looked like?
Can you touching his ankle?
All right. Award season rolls on, boys, doesn't it? What an honor it is to be a part of this award season.
I know.
Did you guys watch the TGL last night?
Certainly.
Looks like good
Saw
game.
some of it.
Looks like good game. Good sport. They need to build a bunch of those. I don't know how you do it. It seems like it takes a lot of space, but somebody needs to build one of those Amazon warehouses that pop up out of nowhere in the middle of America here and just put like 5 of those things into it. And then you could charge probably whatever. If I can get a golf round done in an hour and 30 minutes, plug in my Bluetooth while having an open bar without having to walk or travel too far, while still walking and traveling, while actually hitting shots, man, I would sign up for that experience every single time. Now, they built the SoFi Dome, I think is what they called it, where they were playing at. It was a beautiful set, looked like a beautiful sport. Television purposes, I think it's, I think people will watch because it's golf and it's entertaining. I think they'll continue to figure it out, how they're going to be a TV show. They did drop a hammer down a couple times in there. Don't love that. That feels like certainly a little something, and it, I think they think it sounds cool. It certainly does, which we love. And FedEx sponsored the Hammer Down thing. FedEx was supposed to sponsor our show. They did not. I remember that. We spent the whole thing. We talked.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded cool for a long time.
So it's a FedEx Hammer Down thing.
Hey, I didn't see it live. Does that green move and undulate, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In between each, so it's a new green every hole.
Yeah, they can change it to fit what the course calls for.
It's pretty sweet.
Which is why it's sweet. And if you get like in some shitty stuff, but not all the way in the sand, you're in a good spot. Like there was a couple where Ricky's, I think, were rolling. And it was like not officially in the sand, but certainly in a shitty spot. It's like, well, you lucked out a lot better than if you would have went into the sand. Would be cool to just hack sand all over a warehouse, which is what we amateur golfers would do.
No.
I think it was a poor choice to see who started it. Like, I think Tiger should have taken on Rory night one.
I agree.
I think that should have been the case. Now, Tiger on the mic explaining and talking and doing his thing was good, but like, if you're launching in a sport, a league, like I think you should have the people that are behind it in there, I think, but that's just me looking from outside in, having zero to do with TGO. I like there's a new sport. I like there's a new sport happening, and I hope they make those buildings in places.
Yeah, it was cool. Like you said, that would be very, very expensive, I would assume, to build that out. But like a bachelor party or something, rent that out, that would be...
And with how much space they need, you can even build a little hotel-type gimmick, rent 1/5 of one of these warehouses.
They said the screen that they're hitting into is 5 stories high.
Jeez.
Yeah. So you need that Amazon
Yeah.
warehouse thing that you need.
No, they can't do that. What are they going to charge you? $80,000 per round if you can only have 2 foursomes at a time?
No, you would charge a premium amount. You'd be rotating people in and out of there. Let's not talk the billionaires out of creating this, okay? Let's not say they're never going to make their money back. Let's not talk that it's ever going to be feasible. Let's not talk about the reality of the situation. Let's talk about how cool it would be for us to be able to fucking sign up for that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, let's think about that.
You're right.
Agree.
I think it'd be a bit pricey. Little on the tech.
Yeah.
Just the tech.
Yeah, because if it screws up one time while you're doing your round.
Oh my God, I'd be so mad.
So pissed. If you could do like 8 people.
Have 8 rooms, a little house in the back, a couple of cottages maybe in there.
Hold on.
Have your own round, Bluetooth in there. You can obviously DoorDash food in if you need it, or hey, we got food right here for you.
All you can eat.
Oh, so much good content coming out of that.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't really know what was happening right now. We weren't really told anything. I think it's potentially because I told the PGA people go fuck themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's in conjunction with the PGA.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably what it was. I think that is probably the case. Because as I was watching, I'm like, it feels like we would be a natural fit for this, what they are trying to do here. And we're obviously, if something's quicker, more
exciting,
and there's still a lot going on in the sports world. People are partying while watching it. It's like, feels like we would be a natural fit for all parties to be like, hey, ESPN, this feels like it. We didn't know any of it. And then I was like, I had to ask some questions. I'm like, who's all involved in this? Because I've certainly told a lot of people to go fuck themselves throughout our journey. People that I sleep very well knowing that I told them to go fuck themselves. And I think if you learned of them, you would say, yeah, you should sleep soundly for saying that to that entire thing. And then once I started hearing some of that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably why we weren't brought up. I don't think we had a chance to really get in there, boys. But, hey, we will watch and we will enjoy that. Can you bet on it? FanDuel was big time sponsoring that thing too.
Yeah, FanDuel is a sponsor, and they actually promoted it last night. And I went on the app and looked for it, and I couldn't find any of the odds anywhere. I was excited to watch because I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun to watch, but couldn't find anything to bet on.
Me too. I think it got a little slow, but I think it was because it was a blowout.
It was a fucking blowout. I don't know who's going to beat the Bay.
That is true. They look like a wagon.
They looked good.
Big putts falling early.
Yeah,
I think LA looks pretty good too, though. I think I saw their 4-person picture come across. I think it was Tommy Fleetwood, Colin Morikawa. Like
those guys don't have the legs. The Boston team does, though.
Who's Boston?
The Boston Common Golf Club.
Is that Rory?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's Rory.
It's Jupiter Links. Come on, guys.
I think Tiger's team
That's
also
the
has
squad.
Max Homa.
Yeah.
And, those are 2 great personalities. To your point, wish they would have started them off last night.
Yeah, I think that feels like I'm sure somebody smarter than us had. I'm sure there's somebody who has a different idea than us in this entire thing. Thought that, Tiger being able to talk and be like a representative of it during the first one would be a good move. But it's like
he could have did that while playing.
Tiger playing golf is what everybody.
He was there.
Maybe
He was
because
there.
you get 2 ratings, okay? Because you get a rating because people are going to tune in the first one to see what it
Debut.
is, and then people are going to tune in for Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible
Maybe.
his glutes weren't activated yet.
There's true. He's got a whole day.
Let's not do what you're about to do.
It's got a week now.
That's right. It's next Tuesday?
Yes.
Tuesday or Monday. I know they play on Mondays as well.
Oh, boy. They better not play on Monday.
Monday's not a good idea.
Oh, yeah. No. It won't.
And
Not
then you got
next
the national championship.
What about the fourth guy? When does he play? Like, each of these teams have a fourth guy.
Yeah, I think it's just they pick one guy to fucking ride the pine.
So they could just ride the pine the whole season if they wanted?
Yeah, but that person should be the hype man, on the bench. Like, that's what we need out of you.
They should make that guy get all fucked up and then have to go up there and hit shots.
Yeah, putt.
They all should.
The drunk guys have to go on the last hole. It's for 5 points each.
Yeah, can we get some edibles in here, too? Can we, if we're going to make it be a good time, let's actually have it be related.
Make them spin around on a bat. Put your forehead on the bat and spin around 8 times and hit it dizzy.
Oh, you're talking about a Louisville chugger. Yeah, I like
There you
that.
go.
I like a little dizzy golf.
Maybe if you're not in, if you're the fourth guy, you got to play Edward 40 hands until you're done, and then you get to sub in.
Yeah, can't pee either. Got to pee your pants if that's how you're going to do this entire thing. Yeah. You ever play Edward 40 hands?
I have never heard of it. First time I've
Never?
ever heard.
Whoa,
Great.
whoa.
That's bullshit. At UConn?
Fudge.
That's bullshit.
Duct tape 40s to both your hands. Then obviously.
We seen what D-Butch does when he has to slug some beers. I don't know if he do too well.
What's that? What's that? You talking about birthday?
Your birthday a few years back.
Falling asleep in the back
Bit of a runaway.
It certainly was a little bit of a runaway, as was this show. But who would we be if we didn't wrap it up with maybe the most important part of this entire thing?
Mm-hmm.
There was obviously the trenchies. Congrats to all the award winners. Hey, how come you don't clap?
Ever.
Because I'm like a little bit of a delay, so it would be off. It would be kind of like I don't want to throw any stones. It was a great debut on Netflix. It would be a little bit like Michael Cole yeeting with everybody.
A little off rhythm.
Little. I'm like half a second behind you.
He was kind of on rhythm with how offbeat he was.
Yeah, it was like
Wasn't it kind of impressive?
It was like a perfect, like an Oompa Loompa type situation where you're going like this. It was perfect.
And then he would change his BPMs though every once in a while, and it was like, I don't even know what. Can you hear anything right? I think he got jacked up. And then that
dap-up was so clean.
side high five he had
Fire.
with Travis Scott with the follow through. It did look like he said yippee.
Cleaned out.
He texted me.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking yesterday about it all, and he said, "Hold on, let me find it.
That was a yippee.
Speaking of the rap community, right?
That was the biggest yippee I've ever seen. Bingo. That's what he said. Please remind people I'm massive in the rap community. Michael Cole. Of course. He said they love me. They love me. He saw that side high five and was like,
God, I still fucking got it.
Yes, I did. Who's going to get a side high five from Darius J. Butler? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to announce the All-Everything DBT.
Oh, let's get to it. Now,
Okay, hold on one
right.
second because I got to get to it on the thing.
Uh-oh.
This is what it's all about. Go ahead, Darius.
Ooh. Hey, like I said earlier, only 5 spots. So obviously a lot of great DBs around the National Football League, but there's only 5. 2 corners, 2 safeties, and 1 nickel back. And let's start with one of those safeties. Got a big, obviously, it's coming from the brand new Lions.
Wow! Congratulations.
Joseph, yep. So common theme, you're going to see all these 5 guys every week. You've seen these guys throughout the year on the tape. And we know what Kirby Joseph does out of the deep part of the field. Led the National Football League in interceptions. This is one of his 9. It's hard to get 9 interceptions. You'll see him reading Brock Purdy out of the post, makes a great break on the ball. A lot of times quarterbacks don't really factor in that post defenders when they're going through their reads and making throws on time, especially across the middle of the field. He gets off from the middle of the field to the sideline, and he can also break down in the middle of the field and make plays. Just a great job from Kirby Joseph. One of 2 very good safeties for the Detroit Lions.
He was on Everything DB, good D a lot.
A lot.
And it felt like they were also on In the Trenches. So the Detroit Lions were on In the Trenches, and they were on In the Secondary, which stops explosive plays.
Yes.
Felt like it was a nice little tag team of Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson teaming up together.
Got a great team, great culture, great coordinators, and we've been talking all year long about the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but Aaron Glenn, this defensive coordinator on that side, most likely will be a head coach in this cycle. How these boys humming, man. But Kirby Joseph, since coming into the National Football League, he gets the ball in. To be on the all everything DB team, I value ball production.
Okay, congrats to Kirby Joseph.
Go.
He's also a mean cuss. Let's put that one in there as well.
That.
You gotta be.
I love
Gotta be
that.
a dog to be on the all everything DB team.
Yes, sir. Speaking of dogs, we've been talking about Jim Harbaugh a lot. He brought his defensive coordinator over from Michigan with him, Jesse Minter, and the centerpiece of this defense is Derwin James, a guy that can play and impact the defense on all three levels. So you can put him up near the line of scrimmage. He can rush the passer, over 5 sacks this season, also a bunch of TFLs, and then one game-ending interception against the Atlanta Falcons. So in this game alone, he had 10 tackles, 2 TFLs, and an interception. This is him on the big 3rd and 1, shooting that gap, running down the play, making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Like I said, they put him around the ball a lot more this year. He played a ton in the slot as well, so he could have been a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro at the slot. But you see the time and you see the anticipation, the speed. Since he was a dog at Florida State and coming into the NFL, multiple-time first-team All-Pro, Derwin James, a game breaker. It's him in the middle of the field, 4th and 12 to end the game. Reading it, foot in the ground, boom, eyes back to the quarterback, game ender, curtains. Derwin James is the other safety on the all-everything DBT.
Wow, what a start. Congratulations to Derwin James.
Yes,
Hell of
sir.
a year.
Hell of
And a
a
guy who Jim Harbaugh said he was so lucky to have on the Chargers whenever he arrived there.
Yes.
He talked about the pillars. He was like, obviously, Golden Goose, Justin Herbert. Then you think about Matlock. He had Matlock on that thing. Khalil Mack, Bosa, Derwin James.
Yes.
If those guys are on your team, you can win. And Coach Herbert also down in the weight room said he loves all these dudes. So not only on the field is Derwin James a dog, off the field he's like a perfect leader, love his ball. Obsessed with football. Gonna have to if you want to be on the all-everything DB team.
Yes, common theme with all these guys and all these defenses, a bunch of very, very high-level competitors, like high competes. That's what you got to create as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator. Guy, you talked about having a good year. Guy had a great year, a bounce-back year, I think. It's the best slot defender in the National Football League this year. Marlon Humphrey over there at the Baltimore Ravens.
Congratulations, Marlon!
Yes, sir. Everything DB, obviously, slot defender. That's near and dear to my heart. That's where I played a lot of downs in the National Football League. You got to be involved in the run game. You got to be involved in the pass game. You got to be a communicator. This is him actually on the outside. He played a lot of downs, most of it down on the inside, but pretty much won this game. This is one of his 2 interceptions against the Bucs. This was a 3-point game at this point. Ravens were down, needed this play. If you run it back to the beginning, or you can show the other angle, this is just him being heads up. So 3-yard line, he's trying to run and chuck this tight end out of bounds, which you can legally do within 5 yards, or if the quarterback breaks the pocket. So he's trying to get him out of bounds because we all know once that receiver goes out of bounds, he can't be the first one to touch the football, and then gets his eyes back on the quarterback, get back to the back pylon where Baker Mayfield was looking and gets this interception. Had another interception in this game, had a big interception in the Pittsburgh game. 6 interceptions from Marlon Humphrey this year. Just a phenomenal player.
Congratulations, Marlon Humphrey. Absolute dog. Now, we need a corner or two to round out the all-everything DB team.
Yeah, you need corners. You need guys that you can leave on the island. You need guys that can press, that can play off, that can tackle, and that can, once again, have some ball production. So, Derek Stingley Jr.
Wow,
came into the league. Yes, sir. Came to the league a couple years ago. Top of the draft, number 3 overall pick. You don't see a lot of corners going number 3 overall. His skill set. So, big part of playing DB is, especially a DB like him, follows the number 1 receivers. Once again, can play zone, can play man. Right, if you pause it, that's Brian Thomas Jr. Had a great rookie year out of LSU. And a lot of DBs in this situation are going to panic. You got a blazer a couple yards in front of you, you're out of phase, so you panic, but not when you have the type of 4.3 blazing speed that Derek Stingley Jr. has. Stayed composed, got his head back, played the ball, great ball skills, can get in your face. We saw him get 2 interceptions against Tyreek Hill. It was a stretch, a 4-week stretch. This guy had 4 interceptions. Once again, I value ball production in his face. Once again, at this point, a lot of guys panic. He does not read in the eyes, reading the body language, gets his eyes back, tracks the ball, goes up and gets it. Just a phenomenal player that you can leave on an island and feel very, very comfortable.
Who was the quarterback here?
This was Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so there's a lot of people thinking to themselves like, hey, put the ball out there. He's got him.
Throw it out early.
Hit him.
He's got him out there, but Stingley's going to make a play regardless, we assume, because of how great he is. You don't just fall onto the all-everything DB team. Now, there's one spot remaining. Who will be on the 2024-2025 All-Everything DB team?
Hey, there hasn't been many defensive player of the years that played the cornerback position. This guy right now is the betting favorite. Had a career high 4 interceptions this year. Forced fumbles, tackle, can press you, can play off, can do everything. We talked about Nick Sabin earlier. This is another Sabin guy up here. Cornerback Patrick Surtain II.
Wow, congrats.
He has 2 to round it out. We got a boo here because Gonzo didn't make it. But, I'm sorry. What was that?
Or he's saying 2 because he's Patrick Surtain.
I was not booing.
Boos have been misheard a lot this week. But yeah, no boos for him. This is him in cover 2. Playing the flat against our Colts, playing the flat defender. This is like China 7, hitch 7, whatever you want to call this, route concepts. Baited the quarterback into it, jumped the short route, sunk back, got some depth, went up high, pointed the football. This is Patrick Surtain football. Well coached, not only from Nick Sabin, but his pops, Miami Dolphin, great Patrick Surtain. New Orleans guy, Dolphin great, coached him up in high school and is still coaching right now. But Patrick Surtain is the best corner in the National Football League. And right now, I believe, I'm not sure if this is still the case, Tone, the betting favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year. So he rounds out the all-everything DB team. Just
Congrats
a great play.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to all these guys. Thought we had some exciting whites that maybe we're going to make a run at this thing.
Yeah, maybe. Or like a guy like Xavier McKinney, you value ball production. Guy had 8 picks, you leave him off there.
He did have 8. It's because of what Derwin James, how he impacts the entirety of the game. I had to get him up there.
Sure.
Kirby Joseph, he took the lead, got 9, but Xavier McKinney was there. I got guys right. Brian Branch, Buda Baker, Kyle Hamilton, all these guys. Denzel Ward, Gonzo out in New England, Jalen Johnson in Chicago, Diamonor Lenore in San Francisco. Are you looking for?
He's showing the
Kenny
guys.
Moore, Indy, Cooper DeJean was great. He was great, but he didn't start until like week 5 or so.
Yeah, maybe next year.
And
maybe next year.
The defense took off when he got there, to be fair. So
maybe next year.
Smith.
You're going to have to play
Harrison
Smith.
Wow. Hitman had a big pick. He is he's an absolute dog. Congrats to everybody for having a phenomenal season. And the all-everything DB team is stacked and littered with greats who love ball and have been playing at a high level. And all those teams in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is it's kind of going hand in hand this award season.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Trenchies. Shout out to all-everything DB team. That was fun to be a part of.
Yeah, boys.
AJ, what are your thoughts on the all-everything DB team, pal?
I think it's amazing how many elite second level defenders we have. Like D-Buck going through the list of the guys that are just barely missed making it. Like all of them are absolute studs. Like those guys can all play. I think we're in a great time for college and NFL, like talent-wise. There's dudes everywhere.
The outside, the skill set, I'm not talking about offensive line because I think people have said there's maybe a problem at the offensive line for the next generation, but Bill Belichick, Michael Lombardi said they're going to go find some big boys and let them know that they'd be great offensive linemen and try to get them back into the sport. But on the outside, 7-on-7s, 1-on-1s, the way things have kind of gone, I think that's heightened the skill set and heightened everything going on the outside. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and being in good – AQ talked about it, being in a good system, being with good coach, because you take a guy like, Kirby Joseph and try to make him a Derwin James, that might not work. Or you take a Derwin James and put him in center field, that might not work. You got freak shows like Surtain and Stingley. You can kind of put those guys anywhere, but they're very, very valuable and they can follow number 1 receivers, and then moving Marlon Humphrey back to the slot. That paid huge dividends for Zach Orr's defense in Baltimore, which in turn moved Kyle Hamilton back into the deeper part of the field. So having coaches that can put you in good situations, put you in good game plans, and let you really play to your strengths, very, very important. And the point you mentioned about the 7-on-7, like all those reps matter. It's just like going to the golf range and hitting a bunch of balls. You can go out and get 50 reps of covering, top flight. Got Meek Robinson, who had a huge game against Justin Jefferson this past weekend. He grew. They went to camps going up against each other. So that was a guy he was very familiar with. That's a challenge he asked for. So all that shit matters. So
got a game ball afterwards immediately and thanked the team.
Great
obviously
speech.
Was very that was a great post game speech by him. Kyle Hamilton was like a star, right? They're playing him at like star position. He was kind of everywhere, star year and everything like that. And whenever Marlon Humphrey kind of went back to that, and he was just able to focus on one job almost.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Chuck Pagano, I think, was trying to talk about it. Made their entire defense better.
Yes.
Right? It made everybody better.
Because their pass defense was horrible. They was giving up huge plays. Run defense has been great all year. Pass defense was terrible. Even though they were getting production from the guys up front, cutting guys loose, giving up. Quarterbacks too good. They're going to find an open guy. They're going to make big plays. So once they fix that, I mean, they're tough to beat.
It feels like explosive play stat became the hot stat this year on who decides games.
Mm-hmm.
College ball, it's being talked about.
Yep.
Nick Sabin even was the one that made me really think about it because he was like, other than the score, obviously, the most important stat on who's winning these games is explosive plays. Like he said, and Nick Saban's old school, so whenever he's like saying this is something everybody needs paying attention to, and then you start looking in the NFL, it's like, hey, normally who has more explosive plays is going to win this. That is almost all secondary shit because run can obviously be an explosive play, but safety can save that.
Yep.
Long ball is an explosive play. Who can stop that? Very vital pieces to winning games all of a sudden.
Yes.
And even though it's a run game, it's becoming more of a running game. It's like you got to have dogs now that can tackle and also cover. 4-3 for Stingley. You talk about that. You got 4 3s and 4 2s all over that place.
All those guys can run. Typically, big plays come down to somebody losing leverage. So probably a bad edge or a bad gap. Or, you got 2 guys go outside of a offensive player or 2 guys inside. So if you vice tackle, because players are too good. They're going to make plays, but it's about tackling them, limiting the yak and the rack, getting those guys on the ground. You talked about running backs. Last year, I don't believe there was one back with 300 carries, and I think this year it's like 4 or 5 guys. So it's kind of come full circle, being able to control that clock and then create turnovers and then create those explosive plays like you mentioned.
I'm excited to watch the playoffs. We've got a lot of good football happening right now, a lot of good teams. There were some crap games there for a while because I think there was 2 different classes in the NFL. I think there was. And at the positions, there was 2 different classes. Offensive line, and probably in the secondary.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's go and have a great playoff, shall we? With super wild card weekend kicking it all off on Saturday. And then the college football playoffs tomorrow and Friday. We'll be live from the Orange Bowl tomorrow and then college game day. And then we'll be doing a simulcast on ESPN2 for Notre Dame versus Penn State. And then we'll try to get over to Texas, even though there's a snowstorm going on, for Ohio State versus Texas on Friday night. There'll be a college game day at 6 to 7:30, and then the game kicking off at 7:30. We will be off because I believe there's things happening. And we're incredibly lucky to do all this. Before we get out of here, hey, Cuse, you want to do a...
Oh, yes.
Let's go, AQ.
Go ahead, AQ.
Here we go.
Cuse.
Talking to the boys before the game, AQ?
No, that's not good.
You didn't do it.
Yeah, but you didn't even say it.
That's not good.
I was just doing the hand.
You could have yelled.
Just watch this. Watch this. This never happens. OH.
I-O.
He's finishing it because it's semifinals.
He's ready to go.
Yeah. You didn't even do the We Are Penn State.
Notre Dame by 10.
Oh, my
That's
God.
not
You
good.
didn't get there. We are Penn State was coming.
No,
When? You got Michael Cole rhythm?
That was the end of it.
As the fate of the Nittany Lions.
What do you want to do?
It holds on this ball now.
Football weekend. Let's go.
All right, you got to throw that way.
All right.
30 people can win $500. The Penn State Nittany Lions will beat Notre Dame if you put that football into that hoop right over there. All you will have to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. And all AQ has to do is make it happen. Why don't you do it for the people, AQ? Why don't you do it for Penn State?
AQ. Didn't do it again.
I didn't do it again. Andy missed.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good toss, but
Hit the rim.
I thought you were going to maybe be too jacked up because of the 30 people, $500. All you got to do is put the ball into the hoop right over there. AQ Shipley, Super Bowl champion.
wow.
That was a good throw. Both these are good. We don't need a full,
Yeah.
Don't need to be patting that.
With
throw.
power.
we don't need a full pat. Those are good throws. You should be excited about what just happened.
Fire that thing.
Can
you do the hand thing again?
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
What?
Well, bushwhackers, let's go ahead and get it done, brother. 30 people, $500. All I got to do is put that ball into that hoop right over there. Don't. That was a good throw.
Yeah.
This is a good throw. All right, next throw. You didn't do it. I'm like that you didn't pot right there.
Finally. He did for a second.
It's like the old.
Drop those readers down.
It's like the old.
No, I think
No.
on.
On.
I can't see. It's only for sure.
Oh.
They're readers, AJ.
Yeah. I don't understand.
They're for reading, for things that are close up.
You nearsighted?
No, farsighted.
Farsighted?
Not nearsighted.
I can see way over.
Really, like a Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
But if it's right up in front of you, it's a little blurry. I got that LASIK done, and they're saying that that's going to happen to me. Is I'm going to be able to see, but I'm not going to be able to see anything here.
That's the ideal situation.
I think so. That's okay. Our readers.
I legit thought it was over. Like I did, and I was.
Did LASIK?
What are you talking about?
Like whenever my vision started to go, I thought it was it. Like I was.
Oh, you thought your brain shut
I didn't
down?
want to. Yeah, I didn't want to go see a doctor. I was like, all right, this is it. Like, and I'm sitting there. My wife's looking over me. I'm watching film. I'm looking at my phone. I'm just like beating my head. I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to put it back into focus.
Yeah, because it starts losing focus.
Yeah,
yeah,
she
makes
was like,
sense.
She was like, I'm gonna make you an eye appointment. That's what it was.
Hadn't even thought of it.
Yeah, what? Just trying to bang on the side of the TV.
I was close.
When there's static on the television back in the
Smack
day.
it.
Come on, refocus in. What are you boys doing? Jeez. A man with terrible eyes says he's going to put that football in that hoop right over there for 30 people to win $500.
We are Penn State.
Do it for Penn State, pal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That one you should have paddled a little bit. That one you should have paddled.
I actually felt good about that one when it left.
What? It came out like a bottle rocket.
The first couple were flat. I was trying to get a little arc to bang.
Yeah, but that one went.
Oh, it was a duck.
I think that ball was making its own decisions. You know what I mean? Because it might have came off the pinky a little bit. AJ actually has something to say to you as 2 Big Ten representatives are still in the semifinals.
Yeah, first off, congrats to Penn State AQ. But maybe if before this throw, could you do that, Pat? I remember we watched. Isn't it the Penn State band guy that does the running like front flip to start the game? And if he lands it, they're going to win. If he misses it, they're going to lose.
You can use the stage to get a little bit more height so you don't hit your head.
Or have someone help you rotate. You know, someone stands there and rotates you a little bit.
Yeah, it's not. Is it a back flip or front flip?
Mickey Mouse.
Front flip's a lot harder than a back flip, personally.
Yes.
I believe. I've been able to do a back flip for a long time. Front flip's always hard. Even on a trampoline, I get a little scared doing a front flip. Can't see the landing.
Can you standing backflip?
Used to be able to, yeah. I could probably still do it if I wanted to. Nah, I don't know about that. I ripped my hip flexion. It used to be my party trick. It was a pretty good party
I
trick.
can do it off a back, or what's it called, a diving board.
Yeah, into a pool.
You can get one of those.
You have the capability of doing it. Well, yeah, we'll move one in. We'll wait for Debo to go pick it up. So why don't you sit down before we get the diving board back in here. Get a high dive fucking off the top of the Thunderdome.
It'll be easy.
Do the entire, it'll be no problem at all.
All right, perfect.
We'll wait.
This one's going in.
It is.
We're waiting on diving board.
I believe.
Get trampoline in here, please. Stat, can we please do that?
I think everybody can do a backflip off a diving board, too.
Not
I
everybody.
don't
Some
know.
people can't get over. They can't get their brains
The mental hurdle.
to get over. You know what I mean?
Can you do it?
They're bitches.
They are.
right.
I agree.
Drop your
Just
nuts.
fucking
Just
go.
go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with trampoline ever?
No, not much. I had a fear of trampolines for a while. I saw a bad injury on the trampoline.
Got sent off?
No, like an ankle. Just go the wrong way. Some jumping, it was down and
Double bounce?
yeah, it was bad. So that kind of certain things I saw as a kid, like ice skating. I saw bad. My brother cut his finger real bad. Ice skating, so that was never a thing. So,
Yeah.
trampolines.
You're not an ice skater?
I was shot. This is where I
Did not see that.
Wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah, crazy.
Man, jot that down on a did not know list.
I know.
put it on the ticket. Yeah.
Surprised.
No.
Put it on the
Got
ticker.
scared away from the ice. Probably been a good hockey player.
I can't skate really either. Did you ever rollerblade?
Yeah.
Those were good times.
We used to have great skate rings.
The trampoline,
Great times.
Yeah, the trampoline and rollerblading era was a good time.
Top notch.
That was a really good time. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but trampoline, I was a fucking menace on that thing. I could really go. It's like double backflips at one point. I used to really just fucking send it on those things for no reason at all either. Like, what's this for? I just see if I could do it. And then you see somebody get double back. It ends up helping me out. I did that backflip off the top rope. I haven't been in a ring in a year. And then you go up there and it's like, well, fucking hope we still got it. And then as you're doing it, it's like, can my knees? What is gonna happen here when I hit the ground then land it? It's like all good. Trampoline era was cool. Do they still do them?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back.
Yeah,
they're still doing
like not just the standalone trampolines, but like these jump houses or places like Adrenaline. And
those are huge.
So kids, like, best place to take young kids to just go out there and suck all your energy out of it.
Trampoline's awesome.
Dodgeball, rims, they got
Slam ball needs to come back. They tried. It was, I think, the wrong group of people.
Stunk.
I think the way they were going about it was just not the right way. Felt a little arrogant. Should have been a little bit more humble.
Mm-hmm.
They were acting like they were the best basketball on earth. I think, if I remember.
Yeah.
That's
and they also put it on at like 12:30 at night. It's like, hey, maybe let's do it when everyone's not in fucking bed.
What do you mean? 12:30, 1 o'clock's not a good time to do something?
I know, crazy, right?
Tone.
Hey, Adrenaline kind of has slam ball. Was there on Saturday. Great time.
How'd you do? Did you get in there?
I did. I sweat a good bit, so I got out pretty quickly. But
we had a couple trampolines on the street. Ton those.
I was there for toddler time. If you go on Fridays and Saturdays, five and under, and so I felt bad, kind of knocking some kids around, but that'll happen.
Had to do it for a
Teach them a lesson.
Had to do it for a daughter. All right, AQsh. You failed everybody. Oh, you want one more shot?
An NFL ball?
Duke.
Yeah.
Super Wild Card Weekend. Connor has a motivational quote.
Well, since it's an NFL ball, Penn State lost 20-0. Notre Dame stinks for you. It's kind of on you, but you can at least make 30 people happier by putting this ball and just fire that pigskin, man.
I like that, Con, man. Hey, before you throw that, the other half of the talk table has something to say to you, too.
I do. AQ, please make this. I have to take a shite so fucking bad. So bad.
Show's been extended here about 25, 30 minutes because can't put a ball into a hoop. We had the trenches, we had the all-everything DB team, and now do we have 30 people winning $500?
No chance. No fucking chance. No chance.
No.
It'd be cool if you made it on the but
30
it's too
people,
late now.
$500. Oh, no. Too much thinky.
Chance.
Oh. That was a good throw.
Best throw.
That was a good throw.
What a throw.
Yeah, it doesn't mean shite, but good throw.
That was a good throw.
Close only counts horseshoes, hand grenades, and bocce.
And
atom bombs.
And
so that's the thing about those bombs. I don't think it has to be close.
Yeah,
that's why it's different. Oppenheimer said, "You we just put it in an area.
Put it anywhere. I'll take out the whole fucking city."
Then he had great regret.
Yeah.
From the movie I saw.
You can see why.
Yeah.
It's 2 movies in 1 movie. I'd be okay if they just did 1 movie, but I watched the whole thing. I learned a lot there, didn't you?
Great movie.
You slapped a lot of cheeks.
Oppenheimer, yeah, it did seem like he liked porking a little bit. They're calling him Porkenheimer a lot.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah, because he was
Good for
just
him.
slinging it. You married? Let me get some. I got to split the fucking atom over here, all right?
Yeah.
For the good of the world. Why don't you
Stressed
help me
out.
out a little bit. All right, next time you see us, we'll be in Miami. A nice, cool 55 degrees down there in Miami.
Yes.
Can't wait to get down there. College football playoff semifinals are kicking off tomorrow night. Ooh, we'll be on the sideline. Ooh. Super Wild Card weekends this weekend. Ooh. So much good's happening. Hey, Tone, why don't you come out of Hammer? Dahn. TGL's area. Come on over here.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the TGL podcast.
Yep.
Sports gambling podcast after every one of our shows. Hammer.
Dahn.
Ton's got no shoes on.
Oh, nice.
Sloppy outside.
Ton's got no shoes on. We try to have a rule here. Don't wear your outside shoes inside because we don't need to be dragging a bunch of shit in here.
We would like to see some sort of footwear, though.
Well, we're at a stage of life where I think, and there's lockers and a lot of things where we can all get some good shoes if we wanted them. But the thing about Tone is he wants to let us know he's so comfortable here, it's like he's at home. We appreciate you.
I don't need to take time and effort to put fucking shoes back on.
All right. Didn't need to hear that. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget that. Team on me, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.